go through the good books, if you go through scripture, you will see there is a design for us as men. And when we were created from the beginning, the Bible gave us an accurate definition of our creation. When we were created from the beginning, the first instruction was to be. Now, it's not a Bible study, I'm not going to. But God instructed us to be something, be fruitful, right? To become something. And if you look through that story, you see that everything about a man is from that perspective. There's a lot of instruction on becoming or being something from God if you look at it from that design. But we are not living in a society that is telling you to look the other way. And I'm going to throw more light on that after my story. So, story. I've known, my story is about the people sitting here. So, I want to tell you a story about them. I've known my guests, Satumere Joma, Sir Samuel, Sir Axel Chooks, and Sir Richard Benjamin. I've known them for, I think Axel is the youngest when it comes to the time we know ourselves. I've known these men for over a decade at different times in my life. I met Mr. Tumori first, and this is my encounter with him. I was in a street known as Amos Okufa, here in Nkumaba. I've known him from FECA, right? He was a leader in our FECA there. He used to teach us the word. And he used to teach the word. I didn't even know him personally like that. But I just know, say, this is my back to brother from FECA. I was in Amos Okufa playing in the street because we lived in number 2. That was the first house on the street. I was playing on the street one of these days and he was just passing by. I told him recently. Then I was urinating along the drainage on the road. Then he saw me and he tapped me and said, it's because he knew me. He didn't know me personally. He knew me from FECA too. He just called me and said, you're not supposed to be urinating on the road. You're a man. That was my first encounter of somebody telling me that I'm a man. And trust me, this is like how many years ago? I can't even remember how long it was. You see, this statement is deep. Since that encouraged now, not a piece for roadside. He said that to me, and it struck me that there is a behavior that I'm supposed to have as a man. And since then, it changed the perspective of how I was seeing myself. There's a principle there. The principle is take yourself seriously. Whatever you endorse around you is going to multiply in this place. Right? So that's how I knew him, and since then we've been knowing ourselves. Then for my very own Victor Samuel, I've known Victor Samuel for a very long time. We met in Ojamubi, First Bell Church. Around there, he was a keyboardist and music director in his dad's church, I think. Can't remember detailing. But we saw ourselves, he was playing music, I can sing, and we were just talking and laughing about it. We had a subtle friendship, not so deep like that, but we had a friendship. Then because of church, we got into conversation, he was doing photography then. Then we had a conversation along Mudiaga in Karen Junction. I'm not sure it's going to remember. Just remember, so I remember. Karen Junction there, we were talking there, he told me something. He said that he's going to Benin to do his photography. We were young. I'm still very young, but we were like very young when he gave me that information. He said a lot of mind-blowing things that day. But what struck me was there's somebody who is leaving his father and his mother, he's leaving his worry, he's going to Benin, and he said that why he's going to Benin is because he wanted to do this photography thing. Stick with me. Then I saw him 2, 3, 4 years afterwards, and my guy don't blow. Like literally. He knew a lot of persons. Then we're staying in Jakpa Road. I met him, he was shooting one traditional wedding. Somehow we got talking, and he said he's in town. I went to meet him while he was shooting the wedding. He didn't give me time, he was very, very professional. I felt some time with him. Because in my head, See, I doubt it doesn't remember any of this I'm saying. So, in my head, this was someone who were somewhat age-mate, but, you know, see, he gave me that because he was professional, he interpreted it as, this one, don't send me again. I left there. There is a principle there again. Take yourself seriously. Whatever you are thinking to do as a man, do it quickly. Right? I'm bold. This guy is bold. Not look at him. Because he's very bold. He was the one who interpreted that to me, that as a guy, you need to be bold. You don't need to be scared of getting into new environments. Then I met, I'll talk about my eldest because the story is long. Then I met Axel. Axel has been my friend since COVID days. We got close during COVID. And we had a lot of things that we were sharing. As a matter of book and a little bit of book experience, he was asking me some study questions, but there's something I like about Axel. Axel, I would call him a man of faith. That's how I would define him as. And why I'm saying that is because Axel can imagine big stuff. I don't know if you heard the statement, let your hope run wild. That's Axel. See, Axel can be, let me know this example. Axel can be in a very, very tight place. But it doesn't stop him from thinking of the most biggest thing that is going to happen that he wants to do. Not somebody else. Let me use an example. Let's say Mr. A is holding a debt of 3 million, right? But that doesn't stop him from thinking that he can buy a property of 200 million. Like he can be in that kind of a situation, possibly thinking, I can do this thing. And it's crazy, right? There is a principle there. Don't allow the things that are limitations to stop you from dreaming. It shouldn't stop you. Your biggest limitation is your mind. And lastly, Mr. Victory, I call him my mentor. I said if there's anybody, I don't do this whole mentor thing. You know, there was a time where a lot of persons will be just be pointing fingers. That's my mentor. It was a trend. You know, you need to, once you have a mentor, you are the it team. So some persons use people who they don't know, people who they like that is far from them to be mentors. Other persons call themselves my mentors. I didn't call them a mentor, but if I'm going to ever give anyone that, it's going to be him. But he's more than a mentor to me. He's more than a friend. He's more than an elder, but he's more than a father, because I met him at a very crucial phase of my life. I met him in 2016. And when I met Mr. Victory, I met him in Japa Road, Manex Plaza. One of the shops there was a printer. He owned a printing press. Into the whole printing business, and I was looking for a place to print. I saw the banner there. The print in town road. I never really knew the work like that. So I just took my design and went there. And he saw the design, he liked the design. He said, you're a designer. He spoke to me at length. Me on the other hand, this was what I was thinking. Because I was in school, I've met some persons like him who they see young men, they just want to bobo you with many, many talk. You know, they give you many, I have a dream speech. So when he was talking to me, I just said, this one, I just want to But anyway, I am humble. It's all in my head. I can keep quiet and listen to him, and I'll move on with my life. I listened to him that day. I did my print, I carried my print, and I went to him. You know, I just said this one, I'm one of all those people. I just put him in that box. Then I came to print again, and I came to print again. They were having a series of conversations, and things were changing. Apparently, this guy is not the guy I thought he was. He was totally different. Totally different. He started sharing ideas with me that were destructive. Very, very destructive. Then he told me that this thing I'm doing it in a very disorganized way. I was doing graphic design and print. And he started teaching me. He said, this is what you should do. He started telling me lines upon lines. He said, do it like this. He was the first person to tell me, resume at the office by then. Sign in. I didn't know those things. And he said, we are going to do marketing. That was one of the craziest seasons of my life. He said, we are going to do marketing. You want money? I was doing design for 1,000 naira for flyer design. I did a flyer design where I put all those my charge. I said we're going to do marketing. Say you are going to go out there and bring customers. If you want the money, you will get the money. And I started doing it. I will report in the office, sign in, then I will enter Japan and I will trek. I trekked from Japan Junction to Ekpan, from Ekpan to Refinery Road. I trekked and then over 300 businesses. So this was an experience for me. After this over 300 businesses, I got almost 200 loans. 2 years, that did not, we will get back to 2, we will get back to you, that did not get back to me. I got tired. Once I like, this thing no dey work, it's not working. I cried, see, I literally cried to the office that they went to the meeting. That this thing is not working, sir, it's not. I was crying in the office, then he told me that, wait, it will work. You will get home and you will go there and do the marketing again. He encouraged me basically. And I got some sense of moral and I went back. Then, after going back, that's when I met a client that brought in 20,000, 30,000, and since then, things changed. There's something he taught me that I want every one of you to have from him. There was one evening, we were talking at my house in Japan also. We had a lot of evening strolls together. So, from the office, we just have conversation, and he would be telling me a lot of things. Many things. He will tell you many things today, so I don't know how to say it. But there is one thing, 2 things he said that stick with me. He said something. There's one, if there's anybody I know that is convinced about anything in his life, is this man sitting right here. He's the most convinced person I met first in my life. He told me, he said, Brave, look at me. If they take everything I have now, I will reproduce it again. He said, I mean, so that it doesn't sound like, when they say they take everything I have now, you will not think of the clothes, the slippers, you will think of every other thing outside what. Then he broke it down. He said, if you take away my laptop, my office, my machine, he said, I will reproduce it again. And in mind, I'm like, okay. And he was not sounding like, he was sounding like, now he go burn the things, he go burn laptop. It was that practical in my head. He said, but if I leave this place and I go to a new place where I don't know anyone, I will succeed. I'm literally moving from here to an empty land. He said an empty land. He put me into an empty land. And we make that land successful. And I was like, wow. Okay. I never thought about myself like that until he said it. Then I started asking myself, Brave, if you go into an empty land, can you dominate it? If they take everything away from you, can you reproduce it again? He said because everything he has is from inside him, not outside him. Then he was teaching me how to save. That's the second thing I learned. He taught me how to save. I didn't know how to save. I got money doing my business and he said, you have to be putting money inside. He taught me, I didn't really have what I was using money for, so I was just saving all the money. I couldn't eat anything, I was just saving it. And he told me, he said, if you are able to learn this, you will never go back to zero in your life again. I was like, I like to never go back to zero in my life again. And since that day, I've never gone back to zero in my life again. And I'm not joking. I've not seen 0, 0, 0 in my account. The least money I've seen is 2,000 naira. The least money after that one is 5,000 naira. I've not seen lower than that since that time. And that's because I told myself what he told me. I told myself I will never go back to zero in my life again. I will never be standing anywhere and I will not have money anywhere. Say they shake me, say money will come aside. Right? Then I told myself, that's when I started telling myself that I am the very engine that make things work. He was the one who told me that. I'm the very catalyst that make things work. If you want something to work in a room, bring me. I am that person that's going to make it work. And it's not vague boldness. It's not vague. It's not that boldness where people just say things and when you bring them into the room, things are not working. After telling myself that, he taught me the things I needed to do to be that person. And that's why I'm sharing my story. So that's what I'm saying. Please just give me a We got married. He told me, "Brave, you're planning my wedding." I planned his wedding. He trusted me like that. Thank God. And we're still together. He's my elder brother and everything. So, with all these stories I've been sharing with you, let's go back to what I'm supposed to talk about today. Be, do, and have. And like I said from the beginning, society has somewhat in a way colored our perspective to think that we need to have to do before we become anything. Especially with the amount of models we see around us today. The people who we say we will claim as the big men of society, right? Once you're a big man of society, you must be doing something, you must get doing this. It's that idea, it's that perspective that has colored the minds of young people. When I went back for my higher diploma in Otifoga, I told my friend that, guys, we need to go strong. Because you see this thing I just said, it colored the perspective of everybody in the school. Everybody wanted to be a young boy. And they wanted to be a young boy because they think that when they have something, they'll be able to do something before they become something. And it's a lie that society is actually projecting across. So the goal for this meeting is to get men to go back to the original design of things. You were given birth to be someone, to be a man. And why people are confused about who a man is in our generation. I was listening to Miles Moore on the whole subject of being a man. He said it's very, very easy. It was very, very easy for our ancestors and cavemen to be tagged as men. Very easy. Like you do this and you do this and you do this and they know that you are a man. There is no disparity. He said, but now people want to do a lot of things, you know. And there is really an attack towards our society and as believers towards the male gender as believers. And this is why. It's because as a man, whatever you endorse multiplies, not the woman. Whatever you endorse multiplies. What we are struggling with in society today, where you see gay men and men who are trying to be like women, it's a lot of craziness. The reason why we are even having that debate is because some men are endorsing it, not the women. If the men get their masculinity, their identity right, and the women are doing it wrong, and the men do not endorse it, it won't fly in society. And it's by design. It's not a superiority thing, it's how God designed it. It's designed like that. And once you are born a guy or a man, it doesn't reduce the quality of your design. What that means is when you are in your house, if you endorse anything in the house, it multiplies. If you endorse a bad behavior, it becomes the norm. It becomes the culture of the house. If you want things to be seen stern and straight, you have to be stern and straight. That's why we like our fathers. So we don't want to grow up and become fathers who are not straight with their children. Because whether you like it or not, we are under pressure. Society is pressuring us. Because somehow to feel smart, to look smart, to be smart, especially when you are rising financially, when you are rising up the ladder, you might want to be talking some certain way. Society is putting you under pressure so that you don't want to talk in a way where people are not tagging. There's a lot of attack on you, basically. There's a lot of subtle construction happening. If you are not conscious of it, you will soon get up to the height of your life and notice that you don't even know whether you are a man or not. You don't know if you can call out a man or not. Right? And there's something that Tuba said while we were doing the introduction. As a man, you have to be dangerous. I see men who are being pressured into becoming women unknown to them. This is not to downgrade who women are. But there is that personality that we are being pressured into to look like. So we don't want to be too hard on things. We are designed to be hard on things. and to manage that hardness with wisdom. You were designed to be dangerous and to manage that danger with wisdom. You were designed to have a fight inside of you, even though you are peaceful on the outside. And that fight is for the betterment of the world around you. That fight is that when you see something going wrong, the fight inside of you shouldn't be sitting and nonchalant about it. You should be saying that, no, this is wrong, and we are correcting it. I said we, not we, because there's something inside of you that you are telling, that you and you outside, we are correcting this thing. I'm not going to be here, and things will be going wrong. Because we were designed like that, society is trying to shape us to become something else. So things can just fly. So things can just happen, and men are there, but they are not really doing much. They are just allowing it. Their fight is dying. And if you ever studied history or men before now, you see that there is a fight. Most of the fathers of faith we know from Bishop Oyedepo to Adibeti and Hausa. There is a fight. You will know that there is a fight inside of you. To the people who shaped our world culturally, you will know that there is a fight inside of them. I was having a conversation with some in his office, and he was telling, we were having a conversation more like a material table. I mean, they asked him a question. He said that, how did Martin Luther, how did he fight for the revolution he fought for and not concerned about what he should eat, and he was not concerned whether he had money? Because the guy was asking him, he said, because he knows that there must be a pushback. There must be a time whereby his wife was complaining or he didn't have money. But how did he continue? It's because there is a fight inside that man. There is a fight, and he knows that, you see this idea I have in my head, you don't need money for your ideas to disrupt the world. You don't. What you need is what you have. Being a man. And if you don't take up that responsibility, you decide to stand and be so cool, you decide to stand and be, put yourself in a place where society would try to accept you and all that. Man, you are changing your dream too. You are changing your dream too. So this is a call to be something. If you know you want to have and do something, you have to. You have to go back to the drawing board and remind yourself. And I think it's up to us to now remind ourselves daily. That's why I wrote it. You are a man. Don't let anyone tell you less. Don't let anybody tell you something else. Become. You are a man. Why actually do that? Because society is telling us that we are not men, no, we are something else. I don't know what they are saying that we are, but they are saying that we are something else. If you don't know, start knowing. And if you don't know, just know that you are somewhat, if you are not conscious about bringing yourself back to original design, bringing yourself back to original identity, you are already conforming in some way. You are already changing in some way. Right? So, one of the biggest things you need to do is taking up responsibility for yourself as a man. And saying that whatever they place in my hand, I'm going to make it work, and I'm going to make it work quickly. I'm going to start taking myself seriously from today. The errors I'm seeing in society, I'm going to correct them. You have enough strength to be able to manage your weaknesses. You have enough strength to turn your weaknesses into strength. Your weaknesses don't make you less of a man. Your weaknesses they don't cancel you. They are there because when you win, you can drag somebody along. And you have the capacity to win. You have the mind to win. Don't let society tell you something else. Once again, what's the principle we're learning? It's be, do, and have. And it follows that spectrum. When you are a man, there is something that you must do. And like I said, if you go back to original design, God made the man, then he gave him is something to do. When you do that thing right, you will have all that you need. You won't lack in anything. Everything that you need in your life, they are stored inside of you. It's your responsibility to start aligning yourself to design. Aligning yourself to this principle. So don't tell, when you see, let me even make it even sweet. Whenever you see anybody who is declaring, you know those men that when they declare for outside, whether they declare Azu, whether they declare money, is because they got the configuration of being wrong. They don't get them. So they need external validation to make them feel like they are something. You don't need that. You already are. So you go to a party and you see boys like yourself, they start throwing money there, you see society will be hailing them. Those are the things that I'm saying. Society is trying to tell you that you are not something unknowing to you. When you're in that wedding, when you see those boys, they just come outside, they just start with the spray. There's something happening inside of you in that moment. If you don't remind yourself that no, this guy got it wrong, and it's not because you can't have money, it's because you want to have money and still have yourself. Because some persons have money and they don't have themselves anymore. Right? When you see things that people in a sense your age do, allow those things to inspire you. When you are doing it right, not the ones that are doing it wrong. When you see people who are doing it right your age, allow it to inspire you that you can be that if you actually follow the right track. And not push you to the direction of, oh man, go do anything to get anything. Because honestly, when you become, you start doing something and you attract everything like I said before. So start telling yourself when you wake up today, because I've been telling myself, where you become, you are a man. Whenever you encounter things that are, in a sense, your weakness, that are in a sense, people don't appreciate about you. And in a sense, other men tend to tell you this, just tell yourself, become, you are a man. It's not meant to break you. It's meant to build you up. There is something that is inside every one of us. That is to turn somewhat negative thoughts. You have the power to actually transform it into a positive catalyst as a man. So you can be in a situation where things are dying. I'm saying that you have the power inside of you to turn death into life. Because that's how you were designed. God now gave you two-factor authentication by giving us Jesus Christ and giving us His Spirit. You have more than enough power. Too much power to be standing in one place and see things die around you and just allow them die. No. There is too much inside of you. Nothing can die around you. It's how you were designed. When you leave this room today, when you start taking responsibilities for the things you start taking responsibilities for, or in your life, in your space, be it money, be it woman, be it your work, be it anything, start knowing that there's a way I'm designed, and I can change everything outside of me. Right? So I believe I've been able to share something with you. And it's clear enough. I will be open to taking questions in these lines. But thank you. Thank you for listening to me today. Thank you so much.
Thank you so much, Mr. Providence. You have the problem of today's world is we spend all our life thinking that it is half, do and be, and then by the time we now realize it, it's already too late. I find myself in an interesting position. Where I work, I get to see people at the beginning of their lives, when they give birth to them. Children's cries are very therapeutic. And at the end of their lives, when they are dying, I've seen it happen a lot of times. Sometimes they will come home and do the CPR. It's not a very pleasant thing because you have to do it for like 55 minutes. The person get up. Sometimes they don't. But I can tell you that at the end of their life, what we think matters the most matters the least. Of course, it's good to have, but it's be, it's do, and But very, very, very importantly, I would like to tell you that if you're expecting to hear bullet points that step 1, do this, step 2, do this, step 3, I'm waiting for that gang. It does not always work like that too. The lessons are in the stories. And if you listen to the stories that he just said, there was one thing that he talked about, I think he talked about Mr. Victor Samuel. He said, that you can do it. In medicine, they call it placebo. Placebo is when I can give somebody sugar. I have to apologize, Pastor. I say sometimes people have headache in church, and sugar I give them. Thank you, Mr. Kingston. I just felt so intelligent and disability doctor. But you must believe in yourself. You must believe, you must want it. The second thing that we gleaned from the story is apprenticeship. You must be an apprentice. And many of us don't want to get, we don't want to serve other people. We just want to just blow once. If you blow once, you die once. But you must do the work, and you must do the work under someone as long as it will take. And that beginning side is not always very pleasant. You must be a boy to somebody. Well, not boy, but you must be an apprentice. So who are you apprentice to? That is the question you have to ask yourself. How far do you want this thing? Most of us, our mentors are far away. Your mentor can never be far away. It has to be where you are now. Look for the mentors in your space. All those wonderful things that you want. I want to be a creative director. You have to find someone in your space that are doing the things that you want to do. And lastly, before I do an activity, before I come on the next speaker is, you see, every man is the arbiter of his own destiny. What it means is that we like to put our destiny in the hands of other people, but you see, every man is responsible for his destiny. How your life goes is dependent on only one person. It's not acquired to inspire. It's just the way life is. It's just that we want to pamper us and just help me now. No, every man is the arbiter of his own destiny. What means is that your destiny is in your hand. The journey is straight, the distractions are many, and many of us now, we are distracted on many fronts, and that's why we cannot be, do, and have. How do you spend your routine? What are your routines? Every evening, you are loading your head with TikTok, YouTube shorts. You see, those people they have hacked the human body, and they know that dopamine is the new drug. And if they can get your body to release dopamine, they have sold you a product. So that's why you are seeing that the content is getting shorter. And you are, in today's world, be a producer. Take charge of your destiny. Let's do that for ourselves. So before I call on the next speaker, I want to do an activity. So it's a question, and I want you to listen to this question. I wrote it somewhere. Are we ready? This is the question. I'm going to give 4 persons the opportunity to answer this question because of time. I call it the ship captain dilemma. A ship is sinking. You can call it the Titanic. And you, my friend, you are the captain. And there are 10 seats in the last rescue boat. And there are 15 people on board. What that means is that everybody cannot be on that rescue boat. The question is, who gets priority? The first option, children. You can write it down so you will be able to know the options. Who gets priority for these 10 seats? Children, skilled professionals, the wealthy, the strongest, and lastly yourself. I repeat, you are the captain of a ship, and there are 10 seats in the last rescue boat, and there are only 15 people, that means 5 people will die. Who gets priority? Children, skilled professionals, the wealthy, the strongest, and yourself. And you can only give one answer. Before you try to answer the one that looks honorable, please, I want you to really answer it honestly. By show of hands, anyone wants to go first? Okay? And why?
Good morning. My name is Confidence. Okay, I think I will let the children go first. Reason because I don't know their age, but let me assume the range is between 4, 7, 8, thereabouts. We'll be able to tell the story of how the ship capsized. So we'll be able to, I don't know if you get. We'll be able to pass on what happened that very day. You read, but don't forget.
Anyways, I will tell us the answer by the end. Sorry, can you say that correctly again? Why? You said he's the priority. Okay. After him, one more person.
I think we'll let children go because they are the new generation and there are potentials even in them that are not yet actualized. I've found my captain. I've been living like the rich. They have been living their life. The skilled professionals. They have something.
Real life, or not movie.
So
Real life.
the chance to live is the right thing.
One more person. Let me give you some.
Behind you.
Men. Okay.
There's someone behind you.
There's someone. Okay.
I would say, if it's just one option, I would say it's key professionals because what they know cannot go with them, not how old they are. So let's assume there are children elsewhere where they are going to, they are still going to build cities, they are still going to build dynasties, they are still going to build communities. So I do feel skilled professionals for me because they have something that can guide.
So I answer that for all of them. Actually, can you still hear me?
Yes.
The answer to this question is that there is no answer. Your ability to defend the answer is the answer. Because this is a philosophical dilemma. There is a case for everybody, including yourself. But however, what makes you a man is decisiveness. That these points are picked, I will stand by it. Why am I picking myself? Because I believe that I can rebuild, I can start afresh and tell the story. Why am I picking skilled people? Because I feel that they have the skills to start afresh, to rebuild. Why am I? So you must be able to defend. And that is what being a man is. Put your hands together for me. Anyway, so we are going to be moving on to the next segment. I would like us to collate the questions that we have, so we're going to answer everything at once because there will be a panel session with the speakers. Remember, the lessons and the stories are not in bullet points. So your ears should always be on, no Bluetooth ready to pair, no those Chinese Bluetooth speakers. Okay, so permit me to read the citation of the next speaker I'm going to be calling on. He's a leadership consultant. He's a development strategist and public speaker committed to shaping Africa's next minds. Understanding our mind is the most important tool that you have. He works at the intersection of leadership, youth development, technology, and institutional growth, equipping young people with the mindset and competencies required for sustainable impact across continents. In other words, he works with minds. He serves as the co-organizer of TEDx Okumaba Avenue, and he is the principal at the Advanced African Leadership Institute platforms dedicated to thought leadership, civic engagement, and capacity building. Clapping our hands together. Mr. Tobore Ejoma currently serves as Chief Operating Officer at Unicos Technologies, where he leads operations, drives strategic execution, and oversees cross-functional teams. An alumnus of Daystar Leadership Academy
at the Afric Script and Television Masterclass. This citation is too much for me to read, but let's clap for him. He too sabi, and he's going to give us a wonderful, I want to say, key lecture notes on what does it mean to become a man. Who is a man? What is a man? Am I a man or am I a boy? Right, sir? Thank you.
All right. Good morning, everyone. Somebody should help me with this because I don't get the physics of it. How is it supposed to work? No, it's not even the height actually. Is it safe? Is this thing safe? It's not safe, yeah? Okay, and like this, yeah? Okay, okay. All right, if it is not safe, thank God. Our host said that he always has money. So I have nothing to worry about. Mine is always, we can buy a new one, sharp, sharp. All right, good morning, everyone. All right, it's such an honor to be here, more so because of the times that we're living in. And these conversations are not just important, they are necessary. All right? And I would that we make the most of the time, that we have here together. So first of all, I'd like to salute my men on this side. Please celebrate all our speakers. And of course, our host, Providence Brave. Please put hands together for him. I do not know where I met that story that he put. I have not an inkling of that story. I cannot remember a thing. In fact, I don't remember he stayed in Omoskofa. Because we stayed at Mudiaga. So we usually would pass by that road a lot. I met you. Really, but such an amazing young man, such a fireful, man. And when he told me about this event, I was very excited. But I'll begin with a story. This did not happen in 1960. This thing I'm about to tell you happened. This is February, yeah? January. I'd gone out to get drugs from a chemist in my area. And she was having a conversation with another woman. And then she said, and I quote, when I got married, I told God that if I was going to give birth to a male child, I should have a miscarriage. I said, this did not happen in 2000. No, this happened last month. She said, if instead of me to give birth to a male child, let me have miscarriage. And then she said she had 2 miscarriages before she gave birth to the child that stayed. And so she said she believes that those ones were male children. I was stunned. I'm like, what's happened? Like, how did he get this bad? She said, yes, so me, in 2026, somebody still holds that kind of view about the male child. So I told her, I said, ma, but the challenge is that this is your girl that you are, it's a boy that will suffer how? Really? That's the danger of abandoning the boy, or the boy in this case. Who steals your phones? Male or female? Why do they steal the phones? Right? Do you get it? Who feels our prisons the most? If you want to go by the statistics are just there, right? So, but something that Brave said, the male child is becoming an endangered species, and we must do what we can. I was so excited that my first child was going to be a boy. So excited. He has so much energy, and I love it. If he has every day, you know what the Bible says, your messes are new every morning. Every day he wakes up with 100, what the eyes is to measure energy. 100 joules of every day. And he does not sleep until he gets to 98. Or maybe like the guy, he woke up this morning like this. I'm not kidding. This morning, he woke up like this. Stand up straight, attacking our bed. That's how he woke up. And I love it. I say, yeah. If you leave me, I have all in my house, we are 5 males and one girl, right? And I have nothing against the female gender. I married one. I mean, so I could not have anything against the female gender. But the conversations across social media, any small thing, what is it? There's a case going on now. What's her name? The singer, Simi, and all this talk about this thing and what is all this, right? Beginning with that lady who said they raped her to the one to just a lot of things. You know the funny thing, the first time do you know, it took me a while to know that I was sexually abused. I did not know. I'm not joking. What happened was that there's this lady in the compound where I grew up. This lady would carry us and put us on top of her body. In my innocent mind, I didn't think of it. It took me a while. I said, this is an abuse now. They abused me. Yeah, I joined. Me too. I was also abused, right? But the reality is that no matter what has happened in the past, we must begin to take responsibility for our lives. Praise God. Do you know I was 20, I can't remember now. I've been kissed by a man before. Yeah. I've been kissed by a man. The man who was a very big mentor to me. Big mentor, right? You see, that's why I said capacity for danger. Because if it happens now, Lord. No, it's not only kiss. So it happened like a joke, right? The rumors around us were already speculating that this guy, but he was my boss. Everybody, my dad liked him. Everybody liked him. He was that like elder brother figure that I had around me, And one day, he just jokingly came out and then he kissed me. Thankfully, there was no, it was just, I'm like, ew, what is very... Really? And he kissed me. I'm like, ew. And I remember many times men have also tried to touch me inappropriately. I've been touched inappropriately twice by men. Perhaps I think that they were trying to test me whether I will come alive, whether I will have an erection or something. Thank God we are men here, I can mention penis, right? Maybe they were trying to test me, but and all of those moments came in a seemingly mentoring moment. I'm not joking. It was like a mentoring moment when all these things happened. Someone was trying to mentor me. He was advising me. Guess what? We're all men. Okay. Except for this lady. But guess what? Guess what he did? I'll paint a proper scenario. My father, I love that man so much. This guy was very free with my family. My family loved him. He would come around. We loved him in the house. So one day he said, Tori, come and see me on Saturday, meet me here. For some reason, my father said, Tori, do not go. I said, it was so strange. Everybody loves this guy. Oh, my father was so vehement, do not go. I said, okay. But of course, I connived with my mom. Mommy, I'm sorry, I go, come back early. So I went. When I got to this house, just very even close to where I stay now, I got to the house, and then he started, he said, oh, can you help me do laundry? Okay, no problem. So I was in the bathroom. We're just, I was in the bathroom, we're just doing laundry. We're just talking. So he was talking about women, talking about life. Well, it seemed like it's a good thing. And then the next thing he started talking about sex, and then the next thing, then he said, bring out your penis, bring out your penis. Yeah. So I brought out my penis. Please, this one will not go outside. I films, especially you people. So I brought out my penis. Ina said, Ina held it. Ina said, hold it. I held it. Ina said, say after me, this thing. I said, this thing. Be careful, so that you don't reproduce your kind. So now, that is like, it was, like I said, it all happened in a mentoring moment, right? He was trying to create that space as though, yeah, safety. I did not realize, my brother is shocked. right? Actually, yeah. You know, my mom does not know of this story till today, so no telling. Now, this. I'm saying all of this to say that there is need for safe communities to mentor men. All right, which is why this forum is very important. There is need for safe communities. It was like a mentoring moment, but it was unsafe. All right, I mean, and then this was this same guy that kissed me. Oh. You know, the guy. I believe that he was out to get me. But for some reason, only God preserved me. Because we were this close. Always. I worked in his office. I mean, we lived in that office for a long time. Do you know what I'm talking about? It was, thank God. All right? So I lived in that place for a while. So, I mean, he could have had his chance, but God preserved me. And I know that there are many other boys. You know, I know that we are not trying to do statistics of finding people who are abused. However, boys are going through shit. Young boys abused, touched, raped by men. Oh, I hope you know, by men. It's such a terrible, terrible situation. So I like once again to give a round of applause to Brave for this. All right. So let me get into it now. One of the, when we began, thank God for Kingsley for the way he began the entire conversation. What is a man? And he kept asking. Oh, by the way, there's a very wonderful documentary called What is a Woman? You should see it. Well, in your spare time. Oh. What the simple question is, what is a woman? Come and see story. A woman or guy? It is 2026, sir. What is a woman? Come and see trouble. Full almost 2 hours documentary. Only one simple question. What is a woman? Come and see Wahalana. A woman is a person who's social or guy. Does he have penis? Does the person have penis? Yes, man. Does he not have penis? No, woman. Period. Anyways, let's get into it. By way of definition, but I'm not really going to define really, but I'm just going to put it that way. The synonym for man, synonym is another word for man. If we were to have another synonym for man, it would be the word responsibility. Right? Responsibility. And thank God that Pastor Axel said it. Okay, Mr. Axel in this room. Everybody have tried to avoid the pastor part, anyways. All right. So we are not men because we have aged. We have, as they will say, we have men in boys' bodies. All right. We are not even men, sadly, because we are married. We are not men because we provide. We are not men because of all of these things. We are men because we have the ability to be what? Responsible. We are designed to be responsible. It is why if something falls in this room now, nobody's going to be looking at that lady there now. There's a lady in that place, so you know. Nobody's going to hey. Imagine that you're working with your wife, if you're married. There's somebody, that's why I said you must have the ability to cause what? Danger. Imagine that you're working with your wife, somebody, you now run in back of your wife. Something's wrong, man. You must have the ability to be what? Responsible. That is what makes, that is, I would, if I want to define anything, the ability to take responsibility for. That's what makes you responsible. That's what makes us men. And I'll do that in 3 columns, 3 subtopics, if there's any word like that. The first responsibility a man must take is the responsibility to lead himself. Because the man is a leader by default. If you read your Bible, is there an atheist here who does not believe in God? Free. It's not, this event's not a Christian event. I asked before I came. So if you're an atheist, it's fine. Is there a Muslim? No Muslim. So I believe that we are okay. Okay, thank you, sir. Is there a traditionalist? Maybe you believe in Ifa, all those things. Igbe. Nobody. All right. So are we all Christians? Are we all Christians, sir? Yes, sir. Okay, so that means I can expand the limits of my discussion. Now, from Genesis, you realize that man was made to lead. There is no doubt about that. However, the challenge in today's world is that the man wants to first be leading on the outside. He wants to be doing things. But the first responsibility the man must take is the responsibility to lead himself. Now, this is the problem. When leadership is mentioned, vision is also mentioned. Because if you say we are leading to, right? The word lead is like a movement that is going somewhere. So if we are leading, it means that we are going somewhere. So when we say that the man's first responsibility is responsibility to lead himself, the question is where to? Where is the man leading himself to? So that means that there is leadership and then there must be vision, because vision is where we are going, right? So the man is a leader. He has a vision. He has where he is headed. You cannot be leading when you don't have a vision. Do you get me? You can't. What are you doing? I'm leading. Okay. I think it was Margaret Thatcher also, that says that if you are leading and nobody's following you, he said you are simply taking a walk. All right? Because the idea of leadership is that you are going somewhere. So the man must be going somewhere. He must have where he's headed. And where are we really going? We are going to design. We are going to where? Design. There is a design that God has for you and for me. So when we wake up in the morning, when we choose a course, when we marry, whatever we do, we are choosing all of these things towards the design that God has for us. So we can then say that a man is one who is discovering his design. I'm not saying discovered, because sometimes you keep discovering and discovering and discovering. So a man is someone who is what? Discovering his, in fact, responsibility starts from when you start to discover your design. Are we together? So you must take responsibility for yourself. How? Leadership. Lead yourself. Where? Design. We are going to design. Because man that is born to die. I hope you know that. We are all born to die. Sure you know. Born to die. So, but because death, I was telling somebody who's about to get married, I said there are two ways every marriage ends: death or divorce. I said it must end. Marriage must end. Right? After all, the pastor says, till death do us. So, but for us, it is not death, it is not divorce, it is design. We are heading towards design. So your journey here, if for those of us who have not begun, one of the first assignments here is to start discovering your design. What is my design? What manner of man am I? There are different manner of men, but there is the manner of man that you are, the kind of man that you are. There are generic rules, but then there are the specifics. For instance, the story is told of a man when he was born. A prophet came and told his parents, do not cut his hair, for he is a Nazarene unto me. His name is Samson. So for that man, he's okay with dreadlocks. He's fine. He's living what? Design. But you can't look at Samson now and say, Omo, I like this guy dreadlocks, so I go like the lucky like him. Let me lock him. You now decide to lock him because you see him carrying dreadlocks. However, that is not your design. I've been trying to get beards. So my wife, in fact, a good friend, Emeka Ogbu, bought me beard oil. Because we had a conversation, she just bought me. So I said, babe, this is not the work. She now asked me, she said, babe, are you sure you're supposed to have this beard? As if to say, is this thing in your design? But I will have it. I will have it. Right? Do you get my point? So the first thing, because you know why they say when the purpose of a thing is not known, abuse is inevitable. That's why you have not found design, or you are not finding design. I'm not saying you must have found. The finding is a process. Even me, I'm still finding. People get to 60 and they discover that, oh, okay, I can still do this. I can still do that. All right? So, but you must be, that's why when I tell girls who to marry, I say, find a man who is on his way, who is progressively moving towards something. So a man must be progressively moving towards what? Something, towards a vision. But once I do not have your own vision, I know that you must be progressively moving towards design. You are not just that's the first thing you must know. You are not a random piece of equipment. Just, I don't know. I cannot even explain it. You're just random. So, design, please help me. All right, so design, all right? Now, so the problem oftentimes when it comes to leadership is that we tend to want people to follow, hey, where you? Come here. Because we are men, you think that your voice, hey, yeah. You know? So you just assume that because you're a man, let everybody follow you. When you walk through, where they happen? Where they go? Where they go? Okay, no. The way this thing works is that you are leading yourself so well. Other people are inspired to follow you as you lead yourself. It is why you don't force people to do anything with you. Don't force people. Obafa, follow me. No. It's unnecessary. If you lead yourself well, people will just respond to you. People will gravitate towards you naturally. All right? So the whole pressure, I find, wow, that's so bad. The whole pressure to try to get people, no. Just stay on the path. See, that's the first thing you do. Lead yourself. And it's a whole, thank God I'm not the only one speaking. I wanted to talk about faith, but somebody's going to talk about that. Because there's the spiritual side of it. There's the financial side of it. I'm so glad because all of those areas will be covered. Right? But you must pick yourself up. Lead yourself. And at whatever level that you are in, there's no end to this leadership. There's no end to it. I'm 35, but I'm discovering new stuff. That's why I cannot commit suicide. I cannot. And if you want to commit suicide, thumbs up. I cannot okay, no thumbs up. Okay, that's true. Thank you, sir. Please don't commit suicide. But guess what? I'm saying this I'm not saying this because I've not been pressured. I'm saying this from a place of purpose. I cannot commit suicide. I can't. I know that life pressures people. Hello. Amen. Life pressures what? People. People are pressed and we respond to pressure differently. However, okay, let me put it this way. To avoid the pressure of suicide, ensure that you are living by design. You can't. For the most flimsiest reason, food is too sweet for me to die like that. Flimsy reason, oh. Flimsy. I like beans a lot. Die and leave beans? No. I can't. That's why I said the flimsiest reason. Yeah. But guess what? I'm discovering myself. I like it. I used to go by name Didaskalos. I still go by it. People know me by that. And then one day, on one of my birthdays, the Lord told me, all right, this phase is over. You are now Joseph. My name is Joseph. My English name is Joseph. But it's as though God told me, all right, Didaskalos, shh, close. This is Joseph. So it's a new me. I'm enjoying it. I'm just starting it. It's interesting. I always knew this day would come. But I'm excited for it. When I turn 40, God already told me what I will do when I turn 40. I will not die. I'm not going to die, sir. This life, we will fight it until... No. Do you get my point? So, sir, please, if you are here and you have ever been suicidal, the solution, well, there are many solutions, all right? But first of all, find design. Why am I here? Okay? Then, of course, there's community and all that, but we'll talk about that later. All right. Now, in the quest for this leadership, one of the things that comes first is knowledge. A man must know stuff. Write it down like that. A man must what? A man must know stuff. You can't be a man and you are dull. No. A man. Now, I'm not saying that you must know everything in the world. You are not ChatGPT. right? But you must know stuff. If, as a matter of fact, there is a way you are even ignorant. You can be ignorant with your dignity intact. Do you get what I'm saying? They ask you, oh, what is this thing? Okay. And I don't know what you can say that one. No, 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 no. It was, where's Mr. Gags? One day I just woke up, Mr. Gags called me. Hello, sir. This whole tax thing, no, not tax. This spot, early morning. I don't even know why. I said, just, but I could feel a lot of burden in his heart because that day, blessed the guy don't, the guy don't tick the head off full. He just called me, say, what's going on? So I started explaining inflation and that there is a lot of da 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 da. I am not an economist. Should I say that I am not an economist? No. There are basic things that a man must know. All right? Look, knowledge is very key in getting ahead. Do you get what I'm saying? From here to there, knowledge is very key. I did not know that somebody was going to call me any days, but I just like all those things, right? I like news. I like all those things. I've been watching the news. I can't even remember. But they are basic. You cannot be at home. Your wife now asks you something. What is this to you? And I say, Now, there is a dignified way to say I don't know. And you're only, as a man, you're only permitted to say I don't know once. Only once. After that time, sir, provided I'm in this age where there's Google now, it's even worse, there's ChatGPT. You're only permitted to say I don't know how many times? Only once, sir. Only once. So take responsibility. We're still on leadership now, right? Take responsibility to lead yourself. And one of the ways you do that is by acquiring knowledge, strategic knowledge. There is, first of all, random knowledge of things. Random knowledge of things. We all have our interest, all right? So, but as much as you can, read as much as you can, learn as much as you can, know as much as you can. Know as much as you can. Praise God. Forgive me. All right. Now, then of course there is a place for accountable relationships. I don't want to go into that. I believe that will be talked about. Accountable relationships. There is all of that and all that. But the next thing I want to talk about is this. If you are here and you are below 25, I started teaching this many years ago. It's popular now, but I started teaching it maybe 2012. I can't remember. The definition of the breakdown of man as MAN. The M for morning, A for afternoon, N for night, right? The morning of your life is 0 to 25, right? So what do you do from 0 to 25? You learn, okay? You what? You learn. You learn. 0 to 25, you are learning. Whether you are going to university, but you must have a skill. By 25, you must have a paying skill. A skill that can pay you. If you're a man, 0 to 25. Because one of the ways society judge men is by their ability to provide. So you must not be lacking. We are not men because we provide. However, we are judged by that standard. All right? So you must have the ability to provide. 0 to 25, you must have a payable skill. 0 to 25. A skill that can pay you. Right? So you learn in your morning. Afternoon, 25 to 50. What do? Apply. All the knowledge that you have gathered, put them to work. Build things, 0 to 50. 25 to 50, your afternoon. Build things. The Bible says we should work while it is day. All right? So you labor. Labor. Hard work. Intense work. That's where you do hard things. You should write it down. Men do what? Hard things. We do hard things, oh. We do hard things. Do hard things. So 0 to 25, morning, you learn. So the acronym is Man Lab, right? Man in the laboratory. In the morning, you learn. In the afternoon, you apply. Then in the night, which is majorly 50 to 75, you become. You enter into legacy. You are mentoring people. You are helping. You have built systems. You are strengthening because you will soon. Yeah. Do you get? So 50 to 75 is your night time. The Bible said the night cometh where no man shall work, you retire. By that time, you are also putting an eye on the things that you have done. So you learn, you apply, and then you become. You are now, you are standard. You are a standard for something. Oh, who is the standard for SME development? Da, 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 da. By the time this man gets to 70, she will say, there was a man who, his name is Mr. Victor Igelubo. Oh, he ran this thing. He helped over 1,000 or 2,000, 3,000 SMEs in his lifetime, blah, 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 blah. But it's just that in our case, that's the time he wants to now be president of the country. Terrible situation. When when all his brain, all the liquid in his brain has dried up, he will not stand up and say, yes, it is now my time. When he's supposed to be retiring. All right? So there's that. The second responsibility a man must take is the responsibility for his perception. You must take responsibility for your what? Your perception, how you are perceived. I heard a quote many years ago that changed my life. The quote is simple. Perception is cognitive realism. The quote was by Mr. Leke Alder. Perception is what? Cognitive realism. Let me explain what it means. It means that if all of us in this room think that you are a thief, you are a thief, sir. I know you will say, but I'm not a thief. But something would have stood out for all of us here to believe that you are a thief. So the man must take responsibility for how he is perceived. Don't assume that you'll be respected. Oh. Don't assume that when you walk into the room, everybody will just, no. You take responsibility for your perception, for how you are received. You take responsibility for how you are perceived. When you walk into a room, you take responsibility for how you are dressed. Very, very important. Perception is cognitive realism. It is that how we perceive you is how you are in our mind. If before you enter into this room, we have said that there's a man that's going to come, he's going to put on a yellow shirt with glasses, transparent glasses. That guy is a better thief. That guy is a thief. We know him. No PTI. The guy is a thief. So everybody, let's be guided. Then this man walks in. Fits the description. Yellow shirt, glasses, and he has the thing. He finished from PTI, ba? Yeah. So, do I know you before? No. Anyway, I know you before. Now, when this man enters, is he a thief or not? He's already a thief. Now, he did not steal from you. He has not stolen from you, but he's already assumed a thief. Because you must take responsibility for how you are perceived. Don't say, hey, it's a lie. Every time you have to be explaining, no, it's a lie, it's a lie, it's a lie. Something's wrong. Thank you, I've said it. You go explain tire, bro. If every time, no, if every time you walk into a room, you say, no, it's not bad, don't be judging by the way I dress. Oga, calm down. You have to take responsibility for how you are perceived. That's what goes into how you dress, for instance. Because how you dress forms how you are perceived, true of us. In fact, how you walk. They played a video for a guy who bullies people, right? They steal people, they just rough on people in America. So they played a video of people walking randomly in an airport. So they say, okay, from this crowd, who are your targets? So the guy was looking, said, that guy, that guy. What is common with all of them? They're all like this. They're walking they're just how did you call this in pidgin? This pidgin that you can describe. They all day logbo. Legbe, thank you. Yeah, legbe, thank you. They are just had this legbe-ish thing with them. The guy said, that's how I pray. That's how I pray. That's how I pray. They took him to a park. He said, girls without daughters, children without fathers, easy pray. That's also a lesson there, by the way. Children without fathers, easy target. But let's go to the work part. All of them, what is common? They're all again. As if they don't tire. Sick. Okay. All right? So you must take responsibility for how you are perceived, how you walk. Guess what? How you shake hands. Deals are concluded by just handshakes. Just shake it. Just say, this guy, you know if you do the work. Don't worry. He's not confident. Now, is it fair? No. But that's how the life works. I didn't design it. Why will they judge me by the nature of my handshake? My job is to tell you so that you will change. Right? I even teach some people handshakes. I said, you want to come to office, check me, shake. Yes. Why? I said, hello, sir, how you doing? Yeah, I won't break my hand. Did you hear his hand sighting? Oh, God, take it easy. Look how easy, yeah, just sight. Take it easy, bro. All right? But handshakes are on a scale of 1 to 10, all right? Your handshake should always be a 5 or a 6. Okay? Let's do it again. A 5 or a 6. No, that's like a 4 or a 3. A 5 or a 6. Make it firmer. Firmer. Yes, thank you. This is like a 5 or a 6. All right? Then when you want to shake ladies, you can do a 3. Right? Don't give lady 5. Don't give ladies. Oh, God is a girl. Don't go and shake a lady and say, oh, how are you? Right? It's important. But as simple as they are very important things. Right? If you're, lady, 2, 3. No, let's not do 2. 2 might be too light. Children, 1, 2, hey, hello. That one is just, But a guy, hello, how you doing, sir? Confidently, that's how you shake hands. This confidence boy, this boy wanted to break my hand. I don't know who taught him. But he has changed now. Before, if you shake confidence, I had to man up and take it. Yes, sir. Maybe that's why. This guy was like in an 8. When he shakes hand, the guy very firm, going to press a hand. That's what he do. 8, 9, 10. So the guy they press me. But I have to take it like a man. Yeah. How you doing? Good. But please reduce it, sir. It should be around a 6, 7, okay? All right? But as simple as these things are, they matter. You enter into a keke, you are doing like berry. They will just say that, let me this. Easy prey. They will steal from you fast. As simple as these things are, they matter. Guess what? All these I've said, I read them down. One thing that's very important for a man is awareness. Situational awareness. Walk into a room, observe the room. There's an exit door there, there's an exit door here, there's a flower on my back. Just observe it. So the people, I did a small, I said, we were in this room, we were around 30. Around 30, maybe 30 plus. Do you get what I'm saying? You must, so that's why when you enter into a tricycle, before they observe, you observe them. Hey, good evening, everyone. You have observed everybody in the tricycle then. Would they? Now, guess what? I'm going to talk about this. No, let me just talk about it now. Now, there are ways with which they break your defenses. One of them is humor. Humor. Some of us laugh like. Now, guess what? I'm a funny guy. I like to be funny. As a matter of fact, I have a mantra. I play a lot. So I do serious things playfully. I play. As you are becoming men, don't forget that you are first a boy. There is a boy in every man. But however, you must have its place. The boy must have its place. Right? When you're with your guys, you can be boy. Yeah, all of them, jeez. Yeah. But bro, there are places where you have to be a man. You get what I'm saying? I was going to talk about something just now. Awareness, guys. Situational awareness. Physical awareness. There is awareness. You must be aware of things. Worry that you observe them. So, observe that guy. Yes, observe them. In fact, I have something that I practice. If you see me in the market, I want to see you first before you see me. It's just default. I just do it. I observe a lot. Sometimes my wife says, "Baby, you're looking too much." I say, "No, vex. You don't take. You don't take." I say, "You're looking too much." But I don't like when someone says, "Hey, no." I like to be the one to you before you me. Right? But as simple as that is, because the world does not have chance for you to be weak. Do you get what I'm saying? I'm sorry, guys, but this is how the world works. There is no space for you to be a weak man. There's no chance. By the time you recover, you don't lose many things. So it matters your situational awareness. You enter into a shop, you observe. You have money in your hand, you be conscious of it. Oh, but they've almost taken my phone. This town, bro, worry will teach you now. Worry, the streets will teach you. Okay, yes, I remember. I was going to talk about humor. Now, Listen, guys, listen. As a man, it's not every funny thing that should make you laugh. Somebody just said a joke in a room. Sometimes keep a straight face. It's funny. Everybody's laughing like mad. Keep a what? You train yourself to do it. I do a lot of times. Sometimes it's just a smile. Sometimes it's smirk. Because I have noticed that one of the ways they break your defenses when you are trying to keep your guard is humor. They just talk one funny thing. And guess what? You walk into certain rooms with certain people. For instance, maybe your mentor, your pastor, your dad. You follow me somewhere. You're not following him somewhere. Him and his friends, they are cracking jokes. You too. You say, hey, daddy. You just disgrace your father. So, as simple as that is, a man must be able to internalize what? Humor. It's funny. We're not saying it's not funny. However, straight face. If funny, die. But we're not a laugh. Bro, Steph laugh. The guy laugh. You don't feel laugh. Okay, you're practicing it before. Yeah. Yeah, no, it's okay. It happens. All right? So you must be able to internalize humor. I'm not saying, look, trust me, I play a whole lot. If I play too much sometimes. But I have spaces where I play. In my house, sometimes people come to me and they're commenting, yeah, you're your husband. My wife is like, wow, this man. No, this guy, they play well. Because I grew up, I did leadership early. I was a leader early. So and I was not very, and now I don't really tall. I was only small and short. So I knew one of the ways, outside, fem. When I was president, fem. When I was FECA president, fem. GS, fem. I did come there. I'm coming there. Now, guess what? Neither has mentioned it. Imagine, just imagine that as we were entering this, as you were about to enter this hall, you saw this man by the side of the road. No, just imagine. It's annoying. Is it wrong to pee? No. Please, you say, please don't get toilets. Please have toilets. Right? So you just imagine that this man that wants to speak now, that will come up here, you just see him for, oh, no. Okay, another imagination. You're about to enter church on Sunday. Then you see your pastor by the front of your church. Hey. Confidence, how are you? How you doing? Welcome. You are coming. You are late, oh. You are late. Don't be late next week, eh? No, sir. You must take responsibility to put some dignity on yourself. I was a small boy when FECA told me, I don't throw trash in public. I can't do it. It's when I see people do it, you eat something like you drink pure water. One day I followed a man on Airport Road. He was eating corn. So he ate the corn and trashed it. So I picked it up. The man looked at me. So I was going to the nearest trash can. The man was following me. If he said, I want commit this way, I want easy. So I picked the thing. The guy looked at me. I was walking. He was following me from behind. Then I dropped it somewhere. Then he turned back and left. I said, look at this one. But no, there are some things. Don't do that, sir. As simple as that is, get where they like you, fail and leave you. For some kind of very flimsy reasons. But we're not doing this because of girl. Do you understand me? We're doing this because this is how a man should be. Take responsibility for the environment. One of the things I fight my brothers about is see, this thing now is supposed to be like this. This one is supposed to be here. But then this one is like this. Everybody will come and pass. All of them will come and pass. The fact that I have to tell you before you raise this thing, oh my Jesus. You have to be conscious of your environment and when we say take responsibility, is that one said day. You see a thing that's not appropriate, okay. Now, when you walk into, there are settings where you don't have to do it, you have to tell the people who do those things. Good example. So once we're here, this man, the mic was making noise. He was trying to solve the problem. So he put this mic here. The thing just came inside me. I said, sir, this thing is very vulnerable here. It can roll, it can fall back. So that's why I put it here. If I sit down and say, I mean, they do program. Shebi, if you fall, they go pick on it. But by the grace of God, I've been trained to Spot those kind of small, small things. All right? So please, sir, if you are here and you urinate outside, you bring your penis out, just pee indiscriminately. Now, guess what? To piss outside is sweet. True of us. Oh boy, it is sweet. Especially when the place is open, it's bushes, the breeze. It just is sweet. Just one kind of coolness to it. Bro, bro, bro. See. Is it a crime? No. For that. For that, yeah. There's even a crime against open defecation, by the way. That one is a crime. If you I don't believe that anybody defecates in public here. If you defecate in public, we'll take you to this man, we'll take you to a psychiatric hospital, something is wrong with you. But it is a matter of dignity. Do you understand what I'm saying? Guess what? There's some things you should not even eat on the road. You have to eat for real. No, sir. No. Then you will not stand there one day and say, hey, so guys, you need to. Because why? Perception affects reception. Perception affects how you are received. It affects reception. So you must make it easy for us to receive you all the time. You get what I'm saying? You have responsibility too for your perception, rather. I'm enjoying what I'm doing a little too much, so please keep time. Just help me. Another one that's very important is timing. You know, especially in this part of our city, we are very late people. Late Mr. Should put late Mr. This, late Mrs. That. Some people are so late, that thing should be attached to their name. What's your name? This is late Mr. Why? You know, they use it for people who are dead, but they should use it for people who always come late. How far? That guy, I know, late Mr. This. Always late. It doesn't tell well. Do you understand me? No, what it does is that I can't trust you. Do you get me? If I can't trust you to as simple as keep to time. Now, guess what? If we backtrack what makes us late, it is a lack of personal leadership. It was this morning that you now know that, hey, what are we? You know what? Hey, nah, NEPA did not bring lights. But it's all right. Now, I don't know why some people feel like the road is always clear. They just feel like, no, I pass a opportunity, they say, nothing happened. So, I don't know why. People just have that confidence. They say, no, it's not far. 10 minutes, I don't reach there. I say, wow, 10 minutes, you don't reach there. They don't do road before. Before you know, they just bring one trailer. They just do road. Guess what? My theory is this. If you're going for an event, 1 hour to every event, you're already late. I'm not saying you should come here 1 hour to 1 hour to any event, there should be a sense of urgency in your mind. 1 hour to. If an event is 10, 9 o'clock, sense of urgency. 9 o'clock. Now, guess what? All of us enjoy this thing. Rush hour. I enjoy it sometimes. After what time? 9:30. All right, we'll go run. We'll go make her. After I don't ready my clothes, I don't ready. But guess the problem is that you do not know what will happen. Do you get what I'm saying? You have not an inkling of what can happen in the next minute. So you have it all figured out. Before you know, they just call you for phone. Hello? Listen. Because we should be able to trust you enough to say, this man keeps his word. A man must keep his word. Your yea must be your ye. Okay, let me put it this way. You must fight to keep your word. I think that's the right word. Because now, guess what? I'm not saying all these things as to say I have perfected all of them, but trust me, I am working hard at it. That's why, especially when it has to do with money. I owed somebody in this room, I owed him for long. God, Jesus Christ. I almost wanted to die. Every time I see him, my heart just breaks. The day I sent him money, I say, thank you, Lord. And people who, the worst side of people who, I went to buy fuel yesterday, and then two guys were quarreling. One was owing the other guy, but the other guy, the one that was owing, God, I said, well, we get mine for this worry, die. The one that was owing, he said, hey, I don't get now. Hey. The guy that sent him money said, the guy was saying, he said, now early morning he called me. You know that kind of call when they wake you up early in the morning, you can't transfer money. The guy keeps saying the early morning. I said, I said, sure. What does it matter whether the early money or not? The guy, they owe you, collect your money. But please, it is part of things that makes us men. Men, the ability to keep your word. All right. So remember that this is under the second point. The ability you must take responsibility for your perception. Now, one of the ways we shape perception is by behavior. That's how this is I'm listing. Perception is the way that we shape behavior. Now, guess what? The choice of behavior is not often between what is good and what is bad. Oftentimes, it is between what is easy and what is right. Huh? What is easy and what is right. It is very easy to come late. True of us. Come on now. True of us. Okay, you know that it's easy. How do you come late? Come late. So, between what is easy and what is right, it's not what is good and bad. As you mature in your journey to transitioning from manhood, from boyhood to manhood, the temptation will be between to choose between what is easy and what is right. It is easy to come late. It is easy to sleep anyhow you like. Right. Sleep a crime? No. It is easy to be lazy. You always have a choice. So it is easy to take the lazy option. But you must train yourself to abandon it and choose what is right. It is a training that you give to yourself. I will do right. The man is the normal man is a rebellious man. Especially if you are a Nigerian, you are now rebellious pro max. You know, when we're trying to keep a line, somebody will just come. Bros, Alpha, bros, Oga, shift. When I go to banks, those days when banks were a thing where you go and line up, I'm sat. I don't cut corners. With your back. Maybe I see my friend Alpha. Then I say, no. I like it. It's a process. Let me say I learned patience. Patience. I learned patience. God told me for like a year plus, 2 years plus. Yeah, like a year, 2 years plus. God did not allow me tear cellophane. I know it sounds crazy. Cellophane. I must lose it. I'm not joking. I must what? If I want to tear cellophane, to be as if I want to kill a human being, all my heart will stand up. Don't do that. Don't. It's okay. Because it is easy to what? To tear it. But God taught me, no, lose it. So if you see me sometimes, I vex. Because maybe then I wasn't married and I buy food for outside. You know, some people they don't like to buy the food, you tire as if say I don't want chop am. So I'm trying to. Guess what? I started enjoying it. I started finding pleasure in untangling the tangles. It was sweet. But for a long time, and I thank God, that thing taught me a whole lot. There's no amount of wait I cannot wait. Don't worry, I'll wait. Don't worry, relax, I'll wait. All right? So you must learn patience. I'm going to talk about that in my third slide, as it were. All right, so situational awareness, shake hands family, what gets up, and all that. But is anyone learning anything? All right, thank you. The next responsibility that a man must take is the responsibility for self-governance. I'll explain this one. I said self-leadership in the first place. Now I'm saying self-governance. Responsibility for self-governance. Or if you like, the responsibility for self-control. Now, this is why this is important. Because you are a man, you are a bag of potential. You are what? You are see, you can do a lot of things. You can kill a man. Do you know you can kill a man? You can. You can steal. You can devise. You are so capable. You can do just about anything. As good as that sounds, there is also a danger to it. You are full of potential. You are like God. True of us? Like God. So we are capable of what God can do. And God can do anything. It means that you too, you can do anything. However, you must take responsibility for self-governance. Bro, you can sleep with every girl on your street if you want. You can. After all, your penis is for you. But a responsible man says no. You can decide to be a Yahoo boy. You can decide to be just about anything. However, we are not. God, girl, it's always be girls. One time, so a girl posted something on our WhatsApp recently. She said, "Don't judge me by what I post. No, don't judge me by what I post." One kind of very funny, but what she was trying to say is, no, you trying to judge me by what I post. Meanwhile, what I post is just cruise. I said, all right. I said, okay, then, no problem. I said, if you see a guy, thank you, let me see. Okay. I said, if you see a guy who is always posting about rape, about beating women, about on his WhatsApp, Shebi is just, I said, if that guy comes to ask you out, will you agree? She said, no, sir. I said, no, he's just, I said, you silly. Man is capable of anything. However, because then I began to talk with her about boundaries. Because she said, the last, what I was trying to remember, the last one. She said, I can post anything. I said, anybody that can post anything has no boundaries. Anybody that has no boundaries is indisciplined. And anybody that is indisciplined should not be trusted. You should not post. You can post anything. The phone is your own, the WhatsApp is your own, the data is your own. But however, you should not post everything. The same way, you can sleep with any girl that you want. However, you should not. You can. It's a free country. That's what they say. You must take responsibility to put deprivation on yourself. When a child is growing, a child grows by what he eats, by what he or she eats. However, an adult matures by what he doesn't. As you grow older, they tell you, don't eat this. Abisa, growing older. But when you are young, the Bible says that when you are young, scripture, it said when you are young, you go anywhere you like. You do whatever you like. He said when you are getting old, he said another will take you by the hand and lead you to places that you do not want to go. So you're not a man because as you're bossing like this, well, far would happen, your colors water, drinker, so far. You go, hey, my GI. No, sir. Can you drink the water? Yes. Common sense tells you that water could be for somebody. So that you can does not mean that you should. That's why I said that when they asked me that time. A man must have the capacity for danger. You should be able to punch eye. The eye will swell up. However, does that mean you should go everywhere punchy eye? No. When the need arises, there's a very gentle man of God in this country, probably one of the most gentlest men. Papa Adeboye. He said, you can insult me. I don't mind. You can do this. I don't mind. He said, but if you touch my wife, yes, you should be capable of that. I will hold you by the neck. This woman that I used to tell my brother, I said, this woman, all of us, we paid money, we went to go and marry her. I will beat you. I will return to status quo. I'm saying, man of God, nothing changed. Are you getting me? But that does not mean that because you now know that you can beat. You're trying to be. You're decking keke man, no. There's some change you should not argue for. Are you getting me? Why? Because some people don't have all this knowledge. There's a keke man who doesn't really care. So today, I'll dirty you. And you now, because you're trying to prove that you want to dirty me, I'll dirty you too. Then you start, bro. Mm-mm. Because if I catch this man fighting with a madman, my assumption will be that confidence on the mad. I will not think that a madman is fighting with him. Are you getting me? My thought would be that, wait, confidence on them. I will call Brave. I say, Brave, if our confidence on the mad. He said, no, but I see and they fight madman. Why on earth would he fight? He said, because the madman, they try to show me, saying, I didn't get power pass. Some things, let them change. No, no, at 15, okay, you tell me at 350, I say, 400. Hey, for you know, the man, you will not try me. No. Praise God. All right, so capacity for danger, it must be, but the man must be strong enough to put his proclivities under control. You have a penis. It is a big one. We know. However, sir, all right? So a man has 3 dogs. Every man has 3 dogs. I'll talk about this and then I'll wrap up. Every man has 3 dogs. Every man has 3 dogs. Think of it as bulldogs. Heavy. You know those dogs when you see them? 3. Every man. All of us in this room has it. 1, sex. 1, sleep. The other one, food. 3 dogs. Each of these dogs, their job is they are pulling you. Pulling you. Pulling you. You were born with them. So you don't say, no, I don't, no, you can't avoid it. You were born with these 3 dogs. Sex, the desire for sex, the desire for food, and the desire for sleep. Oh, but I have a brother, he can sleep to 12. As in, from 9th. This guy can sleep till 12 in the afternoon. Yes, he can do it. Well, it's changing now by the grace of God. He can, as in, he will sleep maybe like, say, by 10. No, even if he sleep by 12 in the midnight. Even if you sleep by 1 or 2. How dare you sleep to 12? But this guy, he can do it. No jokes. I'm not even kidding you. These things are 3 dogs that all of us are born with. Sex, the desire for sex, desire for food, and desire for sleep. All of these things are legitimate desires. However, if you do not take responsibility for self-governance, these things would bite you. They will come back at you. It is why we are in the most pornographic generation of all time. And guess what? We are in the most sex-deficient generation of all time. What is such an irony? We watch porn because we claim we desire sex. However, we underperform in sex the most. Why? In between it is some weakness. You watch the sex, you carry your penis, you masturbate. Done. You are retraining, you are rewiring your brain for quickies. Guess what? Tell you another thing that God taught me to do. Sometimes when I wake up too hungry, I don't eat. When I wake up, if I desire that, if I see that I am desiring this sweet too much, what's this? Caramel, just caramel. I give it a chance. Can I buy it? Of course. I give you a chance. Anything you desire as a man, too much, is a tool for control. You desire sex too much, bro, watch it. The idea is to rope you so that it sits upon you totally. You will give up your business ideas for sex. They know you. They just send one fine girl that open cleavage. They know that once you see breast, thank God that all of you are men. All of you are. They know that if you see nipple, you are done. They know. They know you that you like food. So they just take you to a restaurant, just put one food here. Sir? Platter. Say, may you chop. The Bible even says, but you don't listen to the Bible. The Bible says when you go to the house of a big man, he said, put a knife to your throat. It means that when you step into a certain place where the abundance is overwhelming, Oga, stay calm. Put a knife to your throat, sir. This food thing will kill you. It's just food. Oh boy. Oh boy, Alpha. But I tell you how they like this, bro, we go die, yo. Just begin serve. They just be looking at you like, bro, what's happening? Now, is eating a crime? No, sir. However, there is a place for self-governance. Hello? Lastly. So I've talked about sex, food, sleep. You must put these three things under control. I've talked about laughing. If sometimes some laughs are unnecessary, you hold it. You hold it, all right? And then lastly, before I go, please play a lot. Tell your neighbor, play a lot. Men must play. Because we are pressured too much, right? We are pressured a lot. And sometimes we internalize the pressure and then we begin to break from within under that pleasure. So how do you play, sir? If you say we should not be playing, have a community of men that you play with. All right? You must have, there are safe communities where you should be able to crack all your jokes, lift your leg in the air, and laugh. Do anything, be your friends. Marry a good wife. You can play with, laugh with, do all of that with. But outside of that place, sir, you are a man. With my wife, oh, I'm such a baby. I'm such a child. I do not even mind. Please help me. One of my favorite artists sang a song. She said, I beg call my baby maker, put it for his chest. A cube. Yeah, I want to put my head on my baby's chest. Do you get me? So, but what I'm trying to say in essence is, as we are becoming men, let's not boys. There is a boy in you, don't kill it. Don't kill it, don't kill it, don't kill it. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much, sir. Remember, the lessons are in the stories. Thank you so much, sir. So many things unpacked in the past 55 minutes that we had this session. And if there's nothing that you learned, there was something that he said. He didn't say it like this, but I'm saying it. So if you see it, you own it. It's a maxim where I work, one of our tenets. One of the reasons why Nigeria is the way it is because there's no ownership. We do things anyhow. It's an anyhowness because nobody is punishing it. But you don't have to wait for someone to tell you to do a thing before you do that thing. So wherever you are, take responsibility. There's always a responsibility that you can take. In fact, the real definition of a man is actually responsibility. Let's put our hands together for him. We are moving on. We are moving ahead. And we are still here. Become. You are a man. Tell your neighbor, you are a man. You are a man. So you're not a boy anymore. You're not transitioning. Hopefully, by the end of this session, you are a man. So I'm going to be handing over the mic to our convener, Mr. Providence Brave. Let's put our hands together for him.
Yeah, good afternoon again. Yes, we're in afternoon. We're in morning before, but now we're in afternoon. How many of you are enjoying yourself? Are you learning? Are you learning? So we're about to have another amazing session. By the way, just to help your conscience, there is food. So after this session, we'll go on a short break and we'll have something light to eat. May your truth not be there, but just know that there's food for you. And secondly, I think every man, like all men here, I think every man should own a piece of kaftan like I'm wearing right now. I think so. Right? So because of that, one of our partners, my outfit partner, Ogbu Inspired, he usually makes a kaftan like this for, he said, 80,000 naira. But for everyone who is coming from this conference, he's going to give you a discount and he's going to be making for you for 50,000 naira. And to make it more interesting, you can pay twice. So if you have 25K, you can give it to him first and give him the second 25K to make. It covers both the fabric and the sewing. It doesn't cover the cap. It's just so you know. This cap is expensive, by the way. So that's it for that. Right about now, we're about to have another impactful session, and I'm out here to introduce the person because he is very special to me. Let me read his bio so that you guys would know him before I give my personal bio of him. So his name is Thank you. So I can't call him by his name. So Sir Victor Igalougbo is a life strategist, talent and business development expert. He is the principal consultant at Life Edge Consulting, a business development strategy consulting firm that supports entrepreneurs with ideas, strategies, tools, and management framework to start and grow their businesses into bigger, better, structured, and more profitable companies. He's also the co-founder, Trade Booster Capital, a company that facilitates access to finance for SMEs to realize their business growth potential. He's the organizer of the Start Your Own Business Workshop, Business Performance Boost Camp. I was a member of that boost camp for like 4 years. Worry Business Clinic, Worry Business Linkage Forum, and the visionary behind the Seed Project, a combination of entrepreneurial development initiative that has reached over 2,000 entrepreneurs, including myself, and inspired the startup and the growth of businesses across Delta State and Niger Delta region. He's passionate about development of Africa, and his mission is to transform Africa's poor socio-economic condition through the development of human capital, entrepreneurship, social impact, investment, and social development initiative. As you are jamming your hands, please, let's make welcome my father, my mentor, my friend, my brother, Mr. Richie Igelobo.
Good afternoon, everyone. All right, sorry, I don't know if this, let me do like Mr. Tubore. I hope you can hold this. All right, I had to just put this together. I know we've been sitting for a while, so can we just stand? My shoulder, there's no space here. My knee, my toe, please don't fall the tables, all right? My head, my shoulders, my knee, my toe, my head, my shoulder, my knee, my toe, they all belong to, call who you won't belong to. All right, please put your hands together for yourselves. It's so, please sit down. Thank you so much. It's such an honor to be here. And I want to first of all appreciate our convener, Mr. Providence. Thank you so much for putting this together. You know that I have never worried about Providence. But for a while, I felt this guy is so quiet now. Maybe he's in a phase in his life. But I just knew that the Holy Spirit was working in him because there was something about the relationship we had a long time ago. The relationship was so unique that I told him one time, I said, do you know that because of you, I told you, there are a lot of young boys that did not do Yahoo. So sometimes we need to be conscious of our light. Because when you grow up in an environment where you don't have many options, I've done a lot of initiatives, inner city initiatives and all of that. There was one we had, the Rising Stars project inside Jakba community, because there are many sides to my life. And I remember in those meetings, imagine you are a young boy growing up and you wake up in the morning in Jakba Junction to the left side, not just that junction you are seeing like that, to the left. And as a young man, you wake up maybe in the morning, you see 7 bros, they are sitting together with Shekbe, Bago, Shere. Those are the old ones. It's not these new ones people are calling now, you know. They're sitting like that, they're smoking, they're talking nonsense. And that's all you see every day. Why for the girls, you wake up, 6 they sleep. Around 6 they set out. So we found that for many of them, their major challenge was role models. They didn't have role models. See, there are a lot of things we blame young men for today. The truth is that they were not prepared for life. So instead of attacking people, I always want to lend my hand. All right, because I have my own story, which I will also say today. I know what people are going through. I know the crisis that people are going through. Okay? And the purpose of this meeting today, I believe, is yes, that wisdom will come, guide will come, inspiration will come that can help you form into a better man. But beyond that, you must reach out to other men. You must reach out to other men. And I think this is what this is about. So I want you to once again put your hands together for Mr. Brave. Thank you so much for putting this together. This is just a unique way to do it. In fact, I told my wife, as it's like my birthday now will be an event, so, because sometimes you really feel that there are things you should do, but the time constraint is just there. So since my brother, please put your hands together for our first speaker, at least the one I saw. Thank you so much. You said so much. Brave has asked me to speak on the man, money, pose, and Mr. Tobore just solved the first problem for me. So I'm not going to be talking much about the man because he has already said that. However, what I had planned to say before concerning the man, he said it exactly, is the direction of responsibility. Tell your neighbor responsibility. One of the reality you must know is that when we were growing up, you were born into a family at least. And when you were a boy, much younger, it was not your responsibility to worry about what to eat. Am I right? What to wear. Just imagine you, 7-year-old boy, worried about house rent. Is that your business? It's none of your business. There were a lot of things that were not your responsibility. And that is what the first phase of life is really about. There are many things that were not your responsibility. You didn't worry about them. In fact, if you are hungry, somebody is worried for you. Am I right? If you don't have clothes to wear, somebody is worried for you. So you see that even when you have genuine needs, it's somebody else that's worried. If you were put in school and maybe your school fees were not ready at a certain time, it's somebody else that is worried for you. And that's a phase of life. That's a life phase where you are dependent, all right? And I think that's the design that God actually gave to life so that you don't just come into this thing called responsibility. You are placed under a pedestal where you get the necessary support. And through that support, you are supposed to form. Tell your neighbor, form. You're supposed to form into a formidable man. You are supposed to be prepared for responsibility. So that as the transition happens from boys to men, you are ready for that phase. Sadly, life has not prepared many of us. In fact, one of my greatest pain, whether I work with men or women, and I told Providence also, in fact, we've done a lot in capacity building, business development. I told him that God just gave me a fresh assignment. And all I am doing now in the next 2 years is just a transition, structuring what we've already built for it to keep scaling till it gets to Africa. But the next mission is clear. And all of a sudden, all the achievements and all the things means nothing, like Paul said. You count them as donks because there's a new, in fact, I met a friend one day in a filling station. I was filling the car, and I said, it's coming to the office. So he came to the office to sing praises on my life. And as he was singing praises on my life, I see you. I was like, what is this guy they talk? And then when he was done, I paused the discussion and I told him the new direction and how I feel. I'm not even ready for it. The guy just calmed down and took his bag and left. All right? That's to tell you that there are different phases at life that we must take seriously. But this is what we're talking about now. Many of us need to be ready for this responsibility of manhood. It is a very important one. And like I said, I'm going to be focusing more in the direction of finance, money, and then purpose, because those two things are very key. I think since the old foundation has been laid. So like I said, I don't have food to eat. Somebody else is worried, right? I don't have clothes to wear. Somebody else is worried. When I can't pay my school fees, somebody else is worried. But when you grow into manhood, something changes. If you don't have food to eat, what happens? You worry. Right? Everything changes. Everything changes. When you get married like Mr. Tobore and your children don't have food to eat, you worry. You have now taken that your father's. But that time I said somebody worries. But now as you take on even more responsibility, you start a family, your children cannot eat. Flip the switch now, right? You worry. All right? You worry, you're concerned. Let me not use the word worry. You're concerned about how they are taken care of and all of that. So the transition from boyhood to manhood is a transition into responsibility. And this boys to men's journey, you have to consciously prepare for it. My major concern today is this. Because of changes in social structure, and that's why I'm going to talk a lot about purpose, the age of responsibility is becoming earlier and earlier. It's becoming earlier and earlier. Like, I've held programs. I know young boys who have to worry about their school fees now, who have to worry about what to eat now, because there were a lot of changes in society's structure. Remember, I'm a social person. I love social. If you understand all my understanding of Bible, if you cannot impact society, just forget it for me. All right? So you find that the responsibility has come forward. So when you think about drug abuse today and the use of all of that, man, these are young men trying to wage something inside. And I can relate with that, all right? I grew up in a home. My parents, my father was a transporter. He had a transportation business. In those days when you didn't have Osareme and all of those parks, Central Warri Garage was the main, where you have these Peugeot vehicles that were traveling to Bomadi and the rest and all of that. So I grew up under a father who was hardworking. After the Civil War, relocated to Warri, drove for a company for a while and then decided to start his own transport business. And my mom was a tailor, seamstress majorly from the house. So he tried. At least I grew up as a young man seeing drivers bring money home every day, balancing. I think they had their own structure. So earlier part of my life, we didn't have to worry about rent, food, and all of that. Life was pretty cool. My parents valued education and they were trying to give that to us. But I was very young when things fell apart. Tell your neighbor, things fall apart. So part of what happened was, I shared this recently, times were changing. And new parks were evolving, like the Agofere, the Osarimen parks. They were using IAS buses, which were more comfortable, air-conditioned, I guess, and all of that, while the old way of doing things was quite fading off. Unfortunately, my father didn't respond properly to it. Remember, he told you the story is in the lesson is in the story. So when I use a word like he didn't respond properly, those are things you write down and then you look at your life if you are actually responding properly. So he didn't respond properly. When I was young, what I could hear him say was complaints. He talks about a stupid government who just put a law and put it out there and then things are just going down. So every day traffic to where they were was going down. And the only response was complain. That's no responsibility, right? The only response was complain. And we're not saying here to blame anybody, it's to say that we need to learn so that we can do better. So it was complain, and gradually, from 7 cars that he had, one story or the other, they sold and sold and sold until he had one left, which he managed for a long time, until he had an accident that almost took his life. Thank God for Syracuse Clinic then, who helped him. But yes, it was. From that point, things fell apart. I knew struggle. All these fears. That's why I am never harsh to any of these guys. I knew it. I know how to look at the future, and I am scared. Fear. I have sat down and cried. It's not even now. Somebody can graduate as a lawyer and say he wants to do photography or he wants to do law, he wants to do tailoring, right? That time it was more like, if you know go school, you are a useless child. And now, we are even approaching SS3, you are very sure you cannot buy JAMB form. You are so sure that 7K for JAMB form is not coming. So if you cannot even scale JAMB form, how do we now go to congratulations, you now have an admission, then you now pay for hostel and all of those things, and then you have to sustain in school. So I had many of those fears, and I loved education. I liked light. And it dawned on me that it seems that my life is just going to end up like a truck pusher or taxi driver. All those fears were in me. And sincerely, some of those fears pushed me into antisocial behaviors. I smoked. I tried some drinks. Yes. especially when you have 2, 3 friends when I get the same predicament. So you now form a community. After una curse una parents finish, you now say, Bob, where I go be? So you try to pump yourself up, and sometimes these things are not enough. The fear is real. But something for me, my mom trained me in a certain way, even when I didn't know the Lord. There was this kind of love he had for me. God bless her soul. She believed so much in me. So anytime I find myself doing something that I think if she discovers, she will be disappointed, I will not be comfortable to do it. She can beat her chest and say, Victory, I hope I didn't off your mic. Victory will not do this. So when I'm about approaching that kind of pattern, I feel if she discovers that what she's confident about that I cannot do, I am doing it, she would die. I will not restrain from it. So my mom's love restricted me from a lot of nonsense. I think I smoked just twice. I said I can't do it. I drank. I said, this is not my life. In fact, one day I held a cigarette after school. Mr. Tubare, we are welcome. We attended the same school. So I had a friend. He will know. Maybe he will. So the friend's mom, because that's where the many evil came from, because I wasn't exposed to much evil. I came from a very Christian home where while our neighbors are allowed to do certain things, when they pass 18, we are not allowed, even if you are 45. You understand what I mean? So this guy came from another part of town. They are part of town. They are part of town. So his mom was selling all of those stuff. In fact, the guy was bringing a lot of bad ideas. So be careful about your associate. The guy was bringing a lot of bad ideas. In fact, the day I started avoiding him was the day he came to tell me that he has tried Igbo. And nothing happened. I said, that one, don't go there. Because what we were taught growing up is that if you take that, you craze. So if you want to now break that chain that they've put in my mind, no, I'd rather hold on to this stronghold, all right? So that was the journey of life for me. So we came out of school and I had to find my way through life. You know, you're sitting down as a young man, what another person already has. You know, when I finish, I want to be a doctor. We'll be quiet for this kind of meeting because there was no way around all of that. But God was faithful. One of the things I had to do quickly was to decide that I'm not going to fail because the foundations were not right. That was a decision I made. And that decision didn't come easily because, like I told you, there were days of crying, days of fear, and all of that. And if you are genuinely interested in your transformation and progress, there's a way destiny organizes your life. There's a way destiny organizes your life. So my major transformation from all of this period of fear and all of that was in 2006. So in 2006, I will just tell you my own story the way it was. In 2006, I learned photography early. My other brother was into photography, so I did photography professionally. We saw the transition from manual to digital. So I did this. I covered weddings and all of that. So I went to do a job in Port Harcourt in my uncle's house. And after we were done, it was a birthday party for a big pastor. I was watching TV. Maybe this can be a lesson for someone. And then as I was watching TV, I saw a man preaching. And the man was preaching good with so much confidence, using those kind of words that Brave was talking about. Like, how can a man be talking like as if you control the life? Because we're not trained like that. We're not trained to think we had dominion over circumstances. We didn't know Genesis 1:29. We didn't know any of that. We just taught that whatever life throws at you, you take it. But I began to hear this man speak like nothing determines what happened in my life. I determine it. I'm like, what kind of talk is that? But I liked it because I was timid, I was scared, I was confused. And then I told myself, I would like to listen to this man. So please, everything you are experiencing is coming from the information you fed your spirit and your mind with. Your fears and all of that, they are not real. Your weaknesses even are not real. It's just the information that has formed your mindset, which most of the times are lies. Let me give you an example of what happened when we were in secondary school. You know that when we were in school, many of us must know this. You know, they are the boys and they are the girls, right? And even at those age, no matter how sanctimonious we are, we know some things. But there were some of us who had values and wanted to stay away from certain things. You remember that as a young boy, if a girl makes advances towards you and you resist, what do men call you? Clap for yourself. So they call you weak, say you be weak man. You be weak man, you know? And you think those things are joke, but somehow they begin to sink. But this is the point I really want to make. Is that man really weak or strong? But this is the paradigm we live with. I'm just giving that as an example, and we can relate it to many other things. So the world interprets strength as weakness and interprets weakness as strength. It is very easy to misbehave. It takes more capacity to withstand some things. Now, we can go through life all round. You discover that from those your childhood age on through, the world has been building a mindset into you that is twisted. One book I love so much, I can't reference it, maybe the pastors here can help me. He said there was a wisdom that was set before the foundation of the world began. For our glory. It's not Bible, this is life. So what that means is, before I set up a business or a branch in Port Harcourt, and I'm going to hire managers and staff and all of that, I do an SOP, right? Now the SOP is my mind that says, look, you don't come into my company and resume when you like. I write when you resume, right? So I give you my mind. And then I give you, manager, this is your responsibility and your performance expectations. Admin, this is your responsibility and your performance expectations. I am not going to be in Port Harcourt with you, but I've given you my mind for the operations of Port Harcourt. And if you are not running Port Harcourt according to my mind, you are out. Am I right? So what that book is trying to tell you is that before God created this massive earth, there was a wisdom he ordained to run it. If you are going to get the glory out of the earth, that's the best out of the earth. All of the crises we are facing is to the degree at which we've gone against. Am I making sense? It's to the degree to which we have gone against. That's why simple things like what Brave is saying, he knows that I don't joke with them. I'm a philosopher by nature. To tell you that today, men are made to feel like na performance, na define you. So, different definitions that does not align with truth. So if you want to make real progress with your life, because I've gone to a lot of conferences, there are a lot of things that are said, but if you mount all those knowledge, mount all those lies upon your brain, there's really no transformation. There was one time I told him, go to the mirror, pull your shirts, take away your phone, forget your bank account, stand in front of the mirror and tell yourself, this is the man that was made in God's image. Do you know what that means? It means that for 6 days God created and stopped. Every other thing that exists in this world, from this table to the iPads, to the laptops, to the banks, to the skyscrapers, God did not create one. They came out of man. Am I making sense? Now, if that is true, it means that a man standing without a car, a phone, account balance, that man is enough. Oh God. Sometimes I don't know if you are getting the point. It's not the man built a skyscraper. He now became a no. There is something inside you that can produce anything. And this is not motivation. It is the kind of confidence your creator had that made him resign from work on the 6th day and say, this people, they go run them. They go run them. So what is happening today is that people don't know who they are. People don't know who they are. God wanted to build skyscrapers. He wanted to build cars. He had already seen all these things. He wanted to do ships. When you look at some countries from top, maybe not around here, you would think, now God might create this place. No, this place is not possible. The way the tea organized, every street straight. This place is God that created it. No, it's men. Men who used what they've been endowed with. And I can tell you systematically, the whole system in the world is to shift your mind from that consciousness. How do I know I'll become a billionaire? And I'm not joking, billionaire, yes, billionaire. It's because the substance to create it is inside. And even in the days, some of those seminars you followed us to, we didn't have 2 naira. I understand that scripture that says, poor yet making many rich. You could not convince me that because I don't have 2 naira, I cannot raise a multi-billionaire. We were organizing meetings that people will come and pack cars, my students. I don't have, and I am very comfortable with it. My process is different from your own. Are you getting the point? So the idea there is, don't attach your value to things that you have achieved, because there is more where that came from. If you want to define yourself, he said, let us make man in our own image. And the next he said, so he went ahead and created man. In his image created he him. Male and female created he them. And he said, let them have dominion over the earth. This is not religion. No. There is no other person that has claimed creation of man. Whether you choose Igbo or Islam or Hindu or whatever, nobody has ever written that you see this product called man, now me create him. So the person that has boldly done that is the person I quote. Is the one that gives us the oldest history, the beginning of the past. And he said, look, I wanted to create this man. And this man I want to create, I want him to be like me. With my capacity, with my abilities, with my potentiality. Why do I need to make him so sophisticated like that? Because what I want to use him to do. You cannot be a goat and make skyscrapers now. So he had to equip you with his functionalities. So that with those functionalities, you will be able to create amazing things. That's why I keep telling you about witty inventions. I'm surprised that till now we don't have something to deal with leukemia. Because many people are not expecting to come out from them. Hello? So that is the first thing I need you to know. When you wake up, look at a mirror naked. No wear shoe. All those expensive things that we attach. You know, for example, if me and Azel sits now, if Azel is using iPhone and I'm using Android, in the evaluation of men is higher. True of us. Okay, if I stand with Brave now, Brave just bought a fine red car. If Brave is driving that car and me, I'm trekking, in the evaluation of men, who's higher? Is Brave, not be so? If I stand with Victor Samuel and he has built one house and me, I've not even bought land, who is higher? So that is not how life was designed to be evaluated. So reset to the foundation. Tell yourself, reset to the foundation. Reset to the foundation. Reset to the man who is naked. He has not even gone to school. He has not bought phone. He does not have 100K in his account. That is the man that God made in his image. And out of that man, phones, houses, anything can come out. You must maintain that consciousness. It's the reason why nobody can intimidate me in this life. In fact, Brave has always been at the forefront of us to do many things. Because I'm a very stubborn man. Like today night, he forced me to wear suit. Now, polo for wear. If he knows that message yesterday night. All right? There were times I would tell him then, I'm consciously invited. I've spoken to high places. I will enter Kegego. And I will tell him then that if they don't believe in me, maybe they not believe. Who lost? And I was actually training my spirit. Because I saw even many young men coming in our space and say, well, you need to package, go, you need to do them. And you started seeing fake lives, but no substance. Why there is nothing wrong with that? Sometimes you just have to believe. Because I believed in the wisdom I carry. So I needed to convince myself, look, see, if I pour it into you, you must expand. Once I had enough of that conviction, I can attend to every other thing. So the point is, you were endowed with something. Tell yourself, I'm endowed with something. You are endowed with something. And that thing you are endowed with is supposed to change the world. And what you are endowed with is not what I'm endowed with. The simple example that God gave us are the seeds. You've heard about the Chinese bamboo. You've heard about the mango, and you've seen all of that. You see, all of them, their characteristics are different. And one thing that my mentor when I was growing up, Mr. Abraham, taught me well is that victory. Some of us are mangoes. Some of us are Chinese bamboos. Some of us are orange. And the fact that a pawpaw tree is tall does not mean that an orange tree is a failure. Am I making sense? It doesn't mean... So if you... Mr. Tobari also said it. If I know that I am a mango, my goal is to become a mango. A mango can mean what Brave is trying to achieve with his life. It's not what I'm trying to achieve with my life. And there are things that Brave can never do to pepper me. It does not pepper me. It was then when we made some money because like he talks about savings. He's a very good friend. We worked very close. So I actually held his first 1.5 million naira savings from a blind laptop. Yes. After going through that marketing process and all of that. So the first 500, he lost it. He invested 500. I invested 3 million. The two money lost. So he came to me. I could say, I don't lead this boy astray. So I remember what I told him. I said, we'll build again. And we did. The next one, he did 1 million. And we move on. And we have moved on over time. 2021 was another crisis for me. After the crisis, we move because you know that the seed is inside you. It's inside you. So I thought I should lay that emphasis. It is not about where you grew up in. It's not about those situations or circumstances. It's the fact that do you know what you carry? Do you know what nature you have? Do you believe in who you are? Knowing that whoever created you cannot do rubbish. That is the first thing you need to be conscious of. Stand in the mirror. Tell yourself with 20 billion or 2K that you are a sophisticated being. And you can change your circumstances and you can change your life. Hello? So that is for self-discovery. Once you begin to go through that process of self-discovery with the right information, because I've seen many people try to take God out of the context in many cases, but it just can't work. All right? It just can't work because nobody can tell you about something they didn't create. So you need to be conscious of the makeup that you have. And then I want to be specific about this because most times when you tell people it's too vague. Because of what you are designed to do, you were equipped with certain potentialities. I know I have them. You should know that you have them. But if they are clogged right now, the truth is that it's not an easy road. You need to commit yourself to learning. You will not always believe in yourself. You will not always see the potentialities you carry because you are growing up with a lot of fears that have stalked your will. There are lots of things that have been spoken to your mind. Imagine you finish school, you never carry first once. Will you not think the guy that carried first was more intelligent than you? You think you are a dunce, is it not? So all of those systems, you need to be delivered out of them and begin to understand that you carry something that cannot be evaluated academically. I'm not sure say I too carry many first. Hello? But I know that I carry solution for the nations. So you need to be conscious of that. You need to be conscious of that. You were made up, designed, and equipped. Tell yourself, I'm equipped. Me, I know I'm equipped. Me, I know. Do you know? I know I am equipped. Sometimes I will sit down. When I look at some work I've designed, I say, kings are coming to my light. It's not carry talk. You know, some people think confession is about just say it, just say it. No. Most times when you hear those fathers say, I can never be, it's a revelation. Oh. Yes. There is something they just remember. I say, lie. Like one time when I first bought my first car, I say, a car that I buy cannot kill me. Do you understand that? So there is a consciousness, and that consciousness flows out of the abundance of information in your soul. If your mind is stuck with fear, I don't understand. There's a young man I thought would be here today. I saw it on his status. He said, worry is a God-forsaken. Data is a God-forsaken. You will know him. That boy is full of pride. You need to talk to him. He said, data is a God-forsaken place. For him, he was not talking something about Lagos. I said, look at this moron. See gifts. How many years have you known me? This guy here. Yes, that guy. He has known me doing this thing for almost 15 years. Abi, go down the reach. I remember when he went for a training on Vaseline. He remembers we developed our business plan that sold heavily in the Igbudu market. And he has had the direction. Do you understand? The point is that it's not about places. It's about you first. I don't earn money for this land. And I go still earn next week. Do you get the point? Your belief first. If you don't have that in place, if you like, you go London, you'll still be broke. So please work on your belief. And I recommend, because I don't have all the time, read a lot of books. I think about all the things that gave me the transformation experience. I said, okay, that's what I was just going to say. There were times I was intensely reading. I remember at a point when I met Miles Monroe, and I just saw understanding your potential, releasing your potential, maximizing your potential, God's big idea, rediscovering the kingdom. See, it's not by magic. Be transformed by the what? The renew. Does that sound religious to you? He's telling you that no transformation from boys to men without the renewing of your mind. What do you renew your mind with? True information. So if you pass the right information through your mind, it will cause a transformation inside you. And that transformation is what Brave calls the becoming. Because when you become, you attract. I know they pursue men. He knows. I know they pursue men. I don't pursue men. He said, kings will come to the brightness of your rising. Men shall come to your light. So I am more focused on understanding my light and creating works out of that light. As I create works out of that light call men. They call men. I know they also. And it's how fun. I go take breaking. There's nothing wrong with that. All right? But I will create works out of the unique giftings and abilities God has given me and project it. As you do that, it calls men to you. All right? Whether you're in business or whatever, it also applies. So very important. The number 2, self-development. I'm not here to encourage you, see, self-development. A seed carries great potentials. Am I right? It has great potential. So what's the distance between the seed in its raw state and the tree coming out of it? It's development, right? It's development. It has to be in an environment. It has to receive sunlight. So you need to receive sunlight. Why discovery is important is that I know I'm not going to be the best footballer in the world. I know that one. I know that one. I know that one. So somewhere in your transformation journey, your future becomes very clear to you. Gradually. There are points where you are walking by faith. Like where God told Abraham, just go, but you don't know where you are going. But that's not how it's supposed to end. As you are going, clarity will now come. So you will know your path in life. And every path can lead to greatness. Every path. So develop yourself. Specifically, develop your spirit. Hello. Develop your spirit. Develop your spirit. Your spirit is a very important tool for you. Sometimes the way I know that, I just told you that there's another phase for me, right? It's from inside. Nobody sits me down and say, I think you should be considering the next phase of your life. You cannot tell me now. I know it from within. There was a time we were struggling with LifeEdge Consulting. In fact, Brave was there at that time. And I said, Brave, there's a problem I'm having. God has called me to serve new incomes, but they cannot pay for the value. Brave and my wife then, to the ginger, I said, sir, charge them. I said, Brave, if when I met you, I said, go and bring 120K for a 2-month session, you know, they say I'll be bad bros. Join that when you talk. You understand? So sometimes you have to walk from your spirit. You know, it was in my birthday review that when I first came, it was suspicious. All right. So if I now told him that, said, Brave, I believe in your business. He said, not them. He said, not them. So I said, this is the direction. I know. In fact, then I will write and say, I'm going to speak to multinationals. But the multinationals I want to speak to, I don't want them to be Chevron and MTN and all of that. I want them to be businesses we raised up. Because our mission is simple: transform small businesses into large corporations. Very hard work. So he said, charge them, charge them. So I said, I don't think that's the part, because this thing still needs some process. Well, I started working with it from inside. All of a sudden, once your intention is genuine, you just be moving, poof, something bursts in your mind, and there's clarity on how to tackle that. That's how we got into partnership with development organizations. And even those development organizations, I didn't go to also them. I didn't go to meet any of them. Hello? So it's very important that you develop yourself. What I'm saying with the development here is that your path has been clear to you, or the path that is clear to you now. All the development you need for it, start doing it. All the development you discover that this is the path you want to go, you cannot develop just by staying where you are. Somebody talked about an apprenticeship. Sometimes working with people bigger than you expands your capacity. The only problem we have in this generation is that most times if you call them, like, I think you want to use them. It's just you want to use them. That's why I like this she for he. That's how they call it now, right? You know? So some of them just feel you want to use them. But somebody got to use you. Man, you need people to use you. And whether they're wicked or not, may they just use you. If they use you well, man, the man I worked with used me. He used me. But there is no way I'll be operating near where I am now without that usage. Because there you discover that you can stretch. There's a lot you can do. Okay? So personal development is very key. So what are the lessons you are taking? Or you are just hearing stories? What are the lessons you are taking? You need to take it seriously. I remember when I met Kofi. Let me tell you how I stretch people. Kofi was on an undergraduate architecture. I made you to draw. I said, take 3-bedroom, design them. You never graduate to. Take 3-bedroom, design them. Duplex, do them. Self-contained, 17 units. Just the design. In 1 week. Then later, go and find an engineer and work. Attach to them. Tell them you can design for. See, it's a practical process. And what happens is that your capacity is so stretched, your abilities are so stretched, your skills are so refined that when a king sees it, he doesn't see what you're doing as an amateur. We run an HR firm, and a lady was angry. Said, I can't get it. All these employers, they just have an unrealistic expectation. You just expect someone to graduate and just know how to do all this. I said, I don't. So if you run a bakery and you need a baker, you should hire a carpenter because you want to sorry for you. I said, if you want to work for free, you will go and apply as an intern. But you can't expect them to be paying 120,000 naira and be teaching you now. You should have basic skills. And when you come into the system stretches you to bring out the best. There are a lot we need to do and change. So self-development is very, very important. And you need to take that very seriously. Am I wasting your time? Okay. I'm supposed to be talking about money. So let's wrap up with the money part. Let me tell you the truth. You can't do life without money. I better tell your friend. Tell your neighbor now. You can't. The good book said, wisdom is a defense. Money is a defense. It's just that the excellency of wisdom is that it gives life. But you see that defense of money, you need them. You need them. So wisdom is a defense and money is a defense. Why? You know how the system of the world has been designed. It works through money. Brave cannot come here and tell them, say, today's my birthday. Is there anything we can do about the matter? Okay, you go pay. All right? So expenses are natural. You are going to spend money. And if you go through life, I'm sorry for your generation even more. Because at least now, when I got married, my rent was 280,000. Now we are trying to pack. And if you don't have 2 million, you are not ready. Hello? So that's to tell you that expenses are constant, right? You want to eat, you need money. You want to put your children in school. Some of us, money will take graduate for full school. No, even people picking for kindergarten again. All right? So these are real issues. So for the man, we've spoken about the man must be conscious about his need for money. You need to be conscious of that. If you don't, the pressure of life feels heavier. And that's why for the past 5 years, there's a scripture, in our leadership class, we call the Bible the life manual. It's not for Christians. Sure, you know. You know the Bible is not for Christians? You know it's not a Christian book? They deceived you in BK. It's not a Christian book. The creation of man from Genesis 1, is it about Christianity? It's a man's manual. You know, we call it sometimes it's not Christian leadership. There's not like Christian leadership. It is leadership. It's the perverted one. It's because Jesus was walking one day and he said, the leaders of the Gentiles, they lord it over their people. He said, it should not be so among you. If you want to be great, serve. He's telling them that, I told you now, before the foundation was the earth was laid, right? This is the original model. Everything you are seeing that does not conform to this is a perverted model. So he's trying to introduce you to the beginning of the past. And that's not a religious practice. That's part of the crisis we're having. Because it's more like it's an opinion. No, it is cultural influence that you need to understand, okay? So you need to understand that money is important. And if money is important, then you need to learn how it works. Many of us don't know how it works. That's why we fear it. And like I'm telling you, it's important that you learn it because if you don't understand money, pressure of life is real. Tell anybody it's real. It's so real. So for about 4 years, I remember growing up in church, and I know the popular word is, I don't know, my rent just expired. I was just looking at God, how am I going to deal with this? And I was just believing God, and all of a sudden, bam, the money just came. Praise the Lord. 90% of testimonies are like that. All right? But tell your neighbor, don't stay there. You know what I started meditating years ago? I said, I want to give 5 million from 50. I want to pay my rent of 1 million from 10. Remember, life starts from the mind. Are you understanding the logic? It's a transformative process because if you don't walk like that, you cannot come out of it. As you have spoken to my ears, that's what I would do. All right? So I found a scripture for it. And it says, one say, my God shall supply my need according to his riches in glory in Christ Jesus. So the way many people have appropriated that to just be like, anytime when things don't finish, somehow, God will just provide the school fees. All right? And it happens like that because that's your faith. What about God is able to make all grace abound towards you so that you have sufficiency in all things to abound unto every good work. Which one you like? This one now, they tell you so. Say, as they call you, say, it's okay. Secretary, please do 5 million. You have to believe it first. And then when you believe it, there are ideas God can never give you if your mindset is the bread. Until you reset your mind to another level, you'll be struck that in that same job you are doing, there are people that are paying 20 million naira to one person for it. But it will never come to you because that's not the realm you are functioning. There are mindset shift you must attain. That one job can settle your life for a whole year. And then 10 like that will come. It starts from within. I feel strongly because man is too powerful. So powerful that if your mind is not properly set, you can limit the creator of the universe. In any direction you want to think about it. So that takes me to the second one. I said develop your spirit. Develop your mind. All these things I'm talking to you now is information that will enter. Just the way this information is entering your mind, it will unsettle your thinking in some direction, right? If you continue by that, by listening to the right people, your mind will assume a different form. As your mind assumes a different form, the realities of your life will change with it. Somebody wrote it and says the secret. It's actually the Bible. Out of the heart flows the issues of life. We did a program last year. A lot of people were giving 5 million. And we called for assessment. Many of them did not prosper with the 5 million. Which goes back to tell that money is not the problem. We did business development so passionately until we felt like we need to empower people. I raised the investment and started Trade Booster Capital Limited in 2021. It's there. The money sat in the bank longer than it needed to be in people's businesses. Because even the word gives you the impression that if you have money, you are made. If you don't know how to make money without money, you cannot manage money. Your first task is to how to use your potentials to create wealth. It says it is he that giveth you the power to create wealth. That's why you go for meetings, you complain. If not, you say, I know one thing, you have worked with high films, you know how to video. If like say, I get camera, give my camera first. No, give her camera first. Because I don't get the camera, it's just a job, now they come. Okay, give her a customer first. No, give her a customer now. It's just that man, they talk to person anyhow. Okay, what would that solve this your problem in life? So you must take responsibility for your development. Very important. See, success is for everybody. Success comes from something that's available to all of us. God put it in everybody. At the end of the day, Caustic Crana, even though you believe in grace and all of that, he said it makes the rain to fall in both the sinner and the unbeliever. And I made you the verse. Again, one time we were praying for one Ashawo Kota that started near our compound, men of faith. I said, this thing will not work. It will not grow in this environment. It can enter. They buy the building. You know why? It's a simple commerce. He said it. If men need sex and they can have it when they want, if they don't have control over their minds, if there is a market for it, it must connect. So let me show you how Paul did his own in Asia. He said, Princess Diana, who the whole Asia worshipped, he went into that community, he didn't burn any shrine. That's my guy. He didn't burn any shrine. He didn't carry any fire to burn, and no DKG, nothing. He taught them, renewing of the mind, right? He taught them so much. The scripture said that those that had curious hearts, they carried it and they dropped it and they burnt it. And then businesses that were selling things that were relevant to that, it started affecting their business. So, but we need to chase this man out of this place. So it's meetings like this, transforming people's mind, changes their desires. That's why I tell you, it pierces into the thoughts and the intentions of men's heart. And when it gets there, the intentions of their hearts changes, their desire changes, society changes. So this thing can change society. And that's why I believe in what Brave believes in. If we change, society will change. I started training myself because of the things I learned as a young man. I started imagining romance without sex. I started teaching myself to believe that victory, I think somebody first taught me that, look, victory, sexual urge is natural. And within that natural desire, he built self-control into it. So some guys I know, they don't even know God. They just want to tell you that, see, I can control anything that is within me. Because you have been wired with that dominion. It's not by like that. It's not by willpower. Is it working? Do you understand the point? So there are some, I'm trying to go back to the foundation. There are things that God believes about the human nature. I wrote a book one time, The Limits of Human Philosophy of Human Nature. You need to know who you really are. Please be timing me. I'll soon wrap up. Okay? So, in conclusion, you have ideas, you have potentials, maximize them. No fear 2 million. Tell your neighbor, no fear them. 10 million, no fear them. If you get where they call big money, they vex, go sit down for there. Sit there. There may be at a stage where you are looking at life and be like, now wow, only rent 2 million. How man life won't take go now? That is a phase. The truth is that there are global abundance. That's enough for everybody. It is your mindset that will position you. Okay? So it's very important that you understand that. So I'll just take these 5 points and I'll close because I know that we have other lineup of speakers. So there are key things you need to understand about money. Number one, you need to understand about money. You need to understand how to create it. You need to understand how to create it. And if you want to understand how to create it, you need to deliver yourself from the schooling spirit that tells you have to finish primary 6, finish SS3, finish SS1, finish SS3, then finish university so that you can now start making money. No, you have capacities that you can maximize. Think about how to create value out of the ideas, the giftings, the abilities that are in you. Create value in form of a product and a service and then take it to the market. There's money in my pocket I will not give you until you give me value. Right? So you need to understand how to create it. And Mr. Tobore also said it. I have just 5 minutes. To create it, focus now on building earning capacity. Every day I'm building earning capacity. And the truth about the way this life works, once you can start on one footing, it leads to many things. All right? We started with passion for business development. We started a finance company. We started an HR firm. Right? Because within one part, a lot of things were just coming up. All right? And that's how we're gradually building the Life Edge Consulting Group. You just begin to identify opportunities all around you that you can maximize once you get the mindset right. So build your earning capacity. What is in you now that can attract 1 million naira from global abundance in the world? If you cannot find it, you need to do discovery or do some training. Do some training. Make sure you possess skills that has socio-economic value. That is what you should do. And some of us, let me address this generation, some of us already have those skills, but you are not ready for the process. You hear about Victor Samuel. I've been hearing Victor Samuel right from our relationship, where he used to come to, when he packed to this place, there was one time he told me, I think he went to cover for Mercy Johnson. Right? There's one popular artist then that he said he went to shoot in the north and all of that. And I could see that he was getting inspiration from his life. You get the point? So if you have the right connection, be with the right people, there's an oil that pours into you. This thing is not even mechanical. That's the truth. If you are plugged properly, it flows. It's not mechanical. That's what I'm trying to avoid. It's not mechanical. If you stay in the right environment and places, it flows and your clarity just comes. So build earning capacity. Number 2, I said you have to learn how to create income generating systems. Learn how to create income generating systems. The cash flow quadrant talked about the employee, the self-employed, the business owner, the investor. You just need to have income generating systems in your life that brings income into your life, into your personal economy, like I like to talk about. What is that for you? If you are in the employee side, I usually like to give this example. Somebody was working in my plaza then, and she was a gates lady. Because you need to know when you are in phases in your life and when to transition and not make the mistake my dad made. So, and I asked her, do you see yourself doing this thing in the next 10 years? She said, God forbid, very strong one. And I said, okay, so if you don't see yourself doing this in the next 10 years, what do you see yourself doing in the next 10 years? And she went blank. That's the life of many people. There's nothing wrong with being a gate man or a bus conductor. But you look at this phase of your life, can this skill sustain me? Can this skill sustain me? If I project my current income into my future needs, will this sustain me? If no, what do I need to be building up? What skills do I need to be acquiring? Or what skills or initiatives or product do I need to be building that can reposition me? Life is not magic. It's very easy. All right? You need to do that. For me, at one point, when I left secondary school, I didn't finish that story. When I left, it was that photography I learned with my elder brother. I finished WAEC today. Next tomorrow, I started Passport Center because that was the minimum I could do. Passport Center opposite First Bank. And I was doing the Passport Center diligently, making 3,000 naira every day. Mr. Tobori said it. When I was making 3,000 every day, my focus at that point was not obule. That's another issue, right? I opened an Oceanic bank account, used what I need to eat and do basic stuff because I knew I had a vision. I wanted to finance myself through school and all of that, so I was saving it. When jammed me 2 times and frustration was coming, I just took the money and invested it. So I bought papers, I started selling. 2 streams of income. The 2 streams of income meant that if it was taking me a year to save $1 million, I could not do it in 6 months. Then when it built up again, I took it up. I was the first person to come with a digital video camera to this town that used memory card. I actually went to Panasonic office in Lagos to buy it, that cassette one. They now said that one is not in market again. I can't fear. I now came back to Warri to ask video men that, Bob, that one not the market again. When I go use this one. Because Warri go say, if the team formats, marriage is still lost. But that was a transition. But I was very open to those stages because of the experiences I grew up in. My popular word is you must learn how to respond to change. You must learn how to respond to change. So we got it. I bought D40 camera. I didn't want to be doing pa. But I bought it, and most of the rentals then, I was making the rentals. I bought the D40 later, bought D3100. Admission was not coming, and I told myself I will not let jam to determine my future. I started doing self-development and doing my business. I went late, but it didn't make any difference anymore. Hello? So, and that's how it went. From there, I went into printing. I did printing. In fact, when I was doing printing, I knew this was what God wanted me to do at that phase. But I looked at it. If you put consulting for markets and put printing, this one go tail. So I decided to, that's wisdom, right? I said, because if you say person come sit down for personal development, may pay you 2,000 per session. He go tail. When I get girlfriend, they wait for me. So we started printing. I started printing 2016. And God helped me. In 1 year, it balanced up. And in 2017, I got married. That is, it didn't work. You understand? And then in 2018, I told myself it's time to go into the calling. While the business was running there, I converted a small office and started doing this stuff. I think I and Axel had a meeting one time. Inside there, one Fusca paper. Go they run now with marker, with passion. Until one time, you are doing consulting inside the small office. Customers are shouting in the reception. This is your dear, not clear. So I just told myself, Victory, you have aspired from this place. He knows how mad our faith can be. I'm sure somebody will talk to you about faith. This thing is not mechanical. I will sit in LeadX and I will look at a suite upstairs, 2nd floor. I said, that's my office. That's my office. When they laugh, even my funny wife will come and say, see agents carry person go, are they blind? Can they see people inside? Can you not see a receptionist? And I really hired it. That's how we have been mad in the go. All right, being drunk. And the progress has been phenomenal. All right, so it's important that you learn these tips. And number 3, just one more, and then I go. Budgeting. I've talked to you about creating income generating systems, right? when you create income generating system, what I've discovered about people, the money really come, but they don't have faith in the money that comes in. So what Brave was sharing with you is a discipline I was also doing. When it goes to work, money comes, we set a vision for the business. The business needs a laptop, it needs an office and all of that. So I said, take care of the business first, the business will take care of you. So when it comes, we bring the money. And a lot of people were saving money with me, so we started Finedge. Confidence was also part of Finedge. That's how I bought his first laptop. So I just started creating a system to support people in those dreams. And then what we discovered was that, bam, the thing they gather. It is plenty. So you discover that a little retained over a long time becomes much. So now they will say, if I feel your blow, forget blow. They grow first. There is just a principle about this thing. It gets to a point, it becomes exponential. It becomes exponential. It just becomes exponential. All right? So it's important that you learn all those stuff. Manage your income very well through budgeting. For budgeting, spend on your needs. Yes, you have needs. I also have a principle: out of every income you make, you must invest in your personal development. All right? Most of the jobs we started getting from the last 2 years came from investments we made about 4 years. All right? I remember being on the team that worked on the Transforming Nigerian Youth Project with the Enterprise Development Center. But that did not come. I cannot qualify for that if I had not gone to invest in my business development service providers training and got a national certification. So as you invest in yourself, more opportunities just open. The same way they give you one naira now can give you 10 million over time and over development. So budget for your personal development. Not just work 1 million, carry and go chop. Or if the whole I need to buy motor, I need to change clothes. How much are you taking out of that money to invest back into your personal development? All right? And then lastly, save from it. Save from it. And for saving, I have to wrap up here. We talked about having the culture of saving. I don't just save for rent, children's school fees, and all of that. Those things cannot change your financial position. So we have a culture in Finedge we call investment savings. It's only a business plan, investment idea that can withdraw it. And once you begin to structure your mind like that, your mind opens and opportunities begin to flow. I hope I didn't waste your time, but I have to stop at this point.
May I hold my daughter first? Because in this particular program today, I don't think I'm an MCO. I'm one of you. Let's give him a round of applause again. There's a lot of things that we have learned. And I really want to emphasize what I've been saying because it's very important. The lessons are not bullet points. You have to glean them. They're in the stories. And that is how most persons are just waiting for, okay, let's wait for point 1, point 2, point 3. No. They are in the mistakes that he has made. They are in the examples that he has given. And as men, there's a lot of expectation on us to succeed. And we're not going to fail those that have those expectations on us. Let's give ourselves a round of applause. So we are moving into our break session and something light to be provided for us. But let me just give a little recap on what he has said. I really hope that we have questions because the proof of learning is questions. Like this thing where you talk so is very, very high sounding. How can these things, even Mary even asked Jesus, how can these things be? Because so many of the things that he said, I'm like, how can this from businesses are just coming out from everywhere? How you they run now? What are you doing that you're not telling us? So let's write down our questions. There'll be a session where he will come back and Sato Borejuma will come back and we're going to ask them the real questions. Let's not hide behind, yes, I understand. Truthfully, some of us don't really like me, and there's some questions that I have. But let's have those questions ready. So most of the things that he has said borders on the mind. In fact, everything that he has said and Sir Joma has also said speaks to the responsibility we have to guide our mind. There's an industry that focuses on dopamine, like I said before. Dopamine is what the body releases when it's pleasured. It's the pleasure hormone, for lack of it, or neurotransmitter actually. That is why when people have sex or eat nice food or watch movie, they feel good. And the world has marketed on it. That's why you're having YouTube Shorts, TikTok, because they know that if they can get your mind, they have gotten you. And so the journey is not that far, but the distractions are too many. And that's why men are becoming emasculated. Once you can spend 2 hours on TikTok Shorts and you have learned useless things. Are we together? So you have the responsibility to capture your mind. And I'm taking us back to what I started. You have to, he said something. In fact, both of them are saying the same thing, but using different languages. Your design. Everybody has different design, but you must know your design. And the only way you can know your design is you sit with yourself and you gather your fragments. Jesus said, thankfully he's a Christian. We are all Christians here. Bring them. Bring the 5 loaves. Bring the 2 fish. What is your 5 loaves? What is your 2 fish? Most of us want to admire what other people have. But you have to start by understanding yourself. Many of us, we use social media to escape. We are escaping our reality. And you cannot escape your reality. Life is always in classes. And if you don't pass your class, how did they talk? You don't pass you repeat. And the cost for repeating it, literally, you will spend more money. So now thankfully, we have this information now. We have to gather our fragments and understand, where am I going towards? Where am I going to? That was the first thing that he said. What are you exposing your mind to? Reset, self-development. Many of us are not interested in self-development, including myself. We are interested in pleasure. And as men, self-development comes above pleasure. The more you focus on pleasure, the more you just will be wasting your time. And we don't have time to waste. Remember, the world has expectations of us to be fruitful and successful. There was something that he said that affects most of us. And he said something about every path leads to greatness. There's a question that every curious person has. I can do many things. What do I do? What do I do? What he indirectly said. Remember, the lessons are in the story. Sometimes he will not say it, but it's there. Pick one and do it first. As you are doing it, clarity will come on the way. Clarity will come on the way, especially for the person that can do many things. Because the more you delay, should I do this? Should I do that? Time they go, should I do this? Should I do that? Should I do this? Should I do that? Time is going. And you need to start something. So you have to start something. But you cannot start if you have not gathered yourself. Spend time with yourself. Don't escape. Don't use social media to escape reality. It's time for us to be producers. And the world rewards producers. There are so many consumers out there. The world rewards producers. I think lastly, before we go into our break, he made mention about budgeting. And many of us, we keep money aside for pleasure. And they save money if you buy that iPhone because you want to consume. You want to show people, create a persona. Yes, Sir Tobo Rejoma said perception is reality. So you want people to perceive you to be you dress well, you smell nice, but there's no substance. So your budgeting is very, very important. Why you have to start from budgeting? Because you say, now we'll get money, now I ain't go budget now. We'll get money. No, you start from budgeting because when you now budget and you now have different needs, you now see there is an expectation for you to have. Your mind opens. The mind only opens when the mind is put to work. And he said something, when you are budgeting, put in a portion for investments. Most of us want to have millions before you invest. You can invest, you can start small. You can start small. When you start small, it begins to grow from there. Let me borrow their word. I hope I did not waste your time. Let's put our hands together for ourselves. So we have about 10 to 15 minutes to stretch our legs, to connect with people. You can, ask informal questions. I'm sure there's something light coming. Let's move around. Let's stretch. We'll be back in the next 15 minutes. Remember your questions. Have your questions. We are going to be moving into an interesting phase of conversations about responsibility of a man and the faith of a man. And of course, questions and answer session with our 2 guest speakers. I still remain Kingsley, your MC. All right, let's have our break session. Thank you.
Good afternoon, everyone. Good afternoon, everyone. Yes. So while seated there, I was telling myself that I was going to start with a poem. So I wrote something on about man. So just listen, even before I start my talk, because I'll start from this. I was told that you know a man by his voice. The song of authority coming out of his mouth will be the base on which you will trust. His strength will be a musical instrument. It will be played over and over in the ears of those who have never seen him in action. Those who have never seen him strike a warning chord with his fist. How he sings lyrics of threats till he intimidates another. A man, they say, is known by his body, his broad chest, his beards, his physique. Though basic, men are, they say. A man walks in a certain way. He keeps a straight face, never smiles, allow his shoulders to hang. He is a country. His pride is his flag. He owes his independence to no man. He carries himself in the pride of what he thinks he is, a man. A mere representative of what he was taught. How he was taught to behave like a man is to never show emotions, smile but still keep a straight face, never to be caught on fresh. You can laugh but not laugh too much. Hard guy. Never to cry when he's hot. Never to love the most. Never to say I miss you first. Over time, I have seen men disappear into dust scattered upon mountains. Men, you are not mountains. You're strong. You can sometimes break, but be strong. Men, you're not a fist or a hand. You're just dust and spit made beautiful in an image powerful enough to draw the sky and paint it blue. So I'll start my talk from this poem. You are made in an image and likeness. Genesis 1, 26 to 29. The Bible says, and God created man in his image and likeness. And the beautiful thing about that is that image, first of all, is physique, right? So it means you look like God. Likeness, attributes. And look, the Bible talks about Jesus and said the child grew in wisdom and stature, right? So it made me think about Boys to Men. It talked about Jesus in the capacity of a child. Then he was with his parents. And he said the child grew in wisdom and stature. So it means he grew in physique, image, and he grew in likeness. Which is the two things that God created man with. To look like him and to have his attributes. And one of the attributes of God, seen in the beginning, is wisdom. And so that's why I could relate so much to what he spoke about when he talked about wisdom. And a child is known by wisdom. A son is known by wisdom, I rephrase. How? It says somewhere in the Bible that there's an error under the sun where they see princes walking on foot and servants on horses. This I'm sticking to, wisdom and stature, right? Image and likeness. So, do you know that your father or your parents begin to trust you when you show a little ounce of wisdom? So even as so, what makes a man is not just the image, it's not just the stature. So that's why you have some grown-ups that are not wise. They can be referred to as children. And scripture says that when I was a child, I did childish things, but when I became a man. So how it is and how I'm going to say it. So responsibility starts from this, first of all. Knowing the image you are created in and the likeness you should function in. Once you have developed or known that both, and guess what? No, nothing that was created, was not created with a purpose. So the manufacturers of the iPhone, they wanted it to do a certain thing. It was created. So you have been created. Jeremiah says, before I formed in your mother's womb, I knew you and I've called you to be a prophet to the nation. That was about Jeremiah, but God has the manual for your life. Yeah. So in trying to find purpose, in trying to find, because that's where responsibility even comes from. So in trying to know what I should do, yeah, that's after knowing image and likeness, yeah, then purpose is next. So in trying to find purpose, go back to Genesis. When God created Adam, the Bible says that God gave him authority over the fishes of the sea, for lack of better word, everything in the garden. So he was man to take care of the garden. So that was his first work. Yeah, even before the wife came, even before you live on cliff. So there's work first. Yeah, so the first responsibility of a man is work. And no matter how little the form is, yeah. So growing up, I grew up in Kaduna State, second born in a house of 3 children. So we, the middle born, we used to feel like we are the ones that they used to use and do every work. Because when you do something, they say, don't you know he's the firstborn? Don't you know she's the lastborn? So you are the one. But I schooled in Abraka. And I think for the first time when I was in school, I thank God for the way I was brought up. Yeah. I did not understand it then why it looked like I was doing everything. But I understood it later because I ended up to be formed. Yeah. How? Those little work as a child while growing up, yeah, you don't know how much it will affect you later. Yeah, where you don't see this as a chore anymore. It just comes natural with you. I stayed in school where people just saw that as, I don't feel the wash plates, or I don't know how to cook. Do you understand? And guess what? All this falls especially on the boy child. Yeah, the girl child has that privilege to learn all those things. They get to do all those things. But for a boy child, and because we don't understand that that's the lowest form of work, doing house chores. That's the lowest form of work because you're created to work. That's the first thing. So never you see house chores as a problem because you grow to a stage where you now want to work for money or just work for life, yeah, itself. But if you have not built a discipline of knowing how to work from that small age, to become a problem here. So fast forward. I got married in 2022, but before getting married, I finished school 2017. Just to spare you details, I and my dad had a little fight. Why? Because he just wanted me to come back to the north. He believes that he will set you up and everything. But I think in everybody, I just wanted to find my own path in a sense. So after the fight, he came to Warri for the first time and he saw, I think that day I even had, because I print t-shirts. So I was printing, I had the job to print all the branches of UBA shirts here in Warri. So I was doing their shirt and he saw the work I was doing. For the first time, he took me serious. He opened his mouth and said that all his life he thought I was wasting my time here in Warri. But he made me understand something, that you have the ability to prove yourself. By that I mean, everybody will have a perception of you, even your parents. But the wisdom I talk about, yeah, which is what you will grow in. So as you're growing in stature even comes naturally. So it means you wake up every day and you are just grown. Yeah? But wisdom, that's something that takes your effort. Yeah? So when he came and saw what I was doing, he was like, seems you're serious with your life. And by the grace of God, amongst even the elder ones, I got married first and it seems like, I just had it together. Yeah? But that's one thing I think I learned while growing, was the wisdom part. Yeah? And the Bible says wisdom is profitable to direct. Because once you find wisdom, I think your path is just, the direction is clear. Then second thing, because of my time, I'm trying to rush and just pick points. It's faith. I said the responsibility of a man first is work. I don't think I can even explain that more than with the way I did. Work. Find yourself to do something. And guess what? Do you know work make you look attractive? So for all the people that think, or you're struggling with shooting your game and everything, see, first of all, focus on your work. You naturally look attractive. You look like you know something. And the girl will just like you. So you don't even have to do a lot of shooting game once you are serious doing your work. The girl will look at you and say, this boy is responsible. Make her near him. Do you understand? That's how it is. But the second one is faith. and which is what I want to really talk a lot on. Because I think for my formation, faith has been my biggest. And Brave will know me. So Brave talked about how he met me and all. So in 2020, I had just lost the job I was working. I was being paid 45,000 naira in a school, Brainward. I was teaching ICT. And first of all, I got that job without a certification. I got that job because I have mouths. I can talk. And first of all, I think that's where everyone needs to know himself. So the Bible says I wrote it down. So let me just read it. So the Bible says in Mark 11. That's not Mark 11. Because of time. But the scripture that talks about an unjust worker and a manager who just fired the unjust worker. And he, after being fired, he thought about his life. He said, in digging, I cannot dig. I don't have power. In begging, I'm too proud to beg. Yeah, so what will I do? I was going to innovate. So I left school 2017. I had an extension. I did not write it for a while, then I finally wrote it. But somewhere in my head, I felt like I was not going to use it for anything. Then here was I trying to find a job. Then I got that teaching job. I remember in the meeting, I was just talking big to the woman. So the woman just feel like, this boy knows what he wants to do. And when he said, okay, what would you like to play? Would you like to be paid? I said, 100,000 naira. And she was like, oh no, we cannot do that. She said 45,000. And I said, in my mind, I was like, I've not even seen 20,000. So I will accept it. So I accepted this. So every night when I go home, I watch YouTube video. So I was teaching ICT, like I said. I don't know jack about it. So I go every night. I now have a job. So I go every night. I'm supposed to teach children ICT, Microsoft Word, Excel. I'm supposed to teach them graphics design. I'm supposed to teach them everything that has to do with. So every night, I can watch like 50-something YouTube video. Then when I go to class the next morning, come and see me teaching like I know the thing. But that's how. And everything I am right now, everything I do for business, that's how I learned it. I learned it by self-taught, self-learning. So after doing that and teaching, I was in the school for a while. Then I now started to say, this salary is too small. In 3 months, I got a bigger offer in this Word of Life school. What's that school again? Eagles Heights. So Eagles Heights was going to pay me 2 times that money. And I accepted it. And everywhere I go, I always negotiate for 1 free day off. So I just had that thing. Because I remember the first time I entered Eagles Heights. You know, if you enter Eagles Heights, there are mopos at the gates. Then after the mopo, you meet a receptionist. The first day I entered there, I like dressing to intimidate. So I entered. I did not greet anybody. I walked straight. They could not ask me any question. I entered the reception. I said, don't enter the reception. I just asked her. I said, where is the principal? With a straight face. She was like, sir, do you have an appointment? I said, yes. Where? She just said, okay, he's in the office and directed me. And that's how when I barged into the man's office, the man was like, sorry, do I know you? I said, I just introduced myself sharp. And I said, I'm here for this, that. And that's how I got it. I think that thing is a level of boldness that I think every man should have. Everything that I've had or everything that I've seemed to gather is because of that. So a lot of times, it's not like I know a lot, but I enter places and I dominate, like he read in Genesis, because that's what God has called us to do. So I'm not the kind of person to just say, I don't know a thing. I'll agree that I know it. But you see that learning, I must go back and learn this thing and prove to you that, see, I can do it. And funny enough, I don't think any man should run away from challenges. I was listening to Miles Moore, and he talked about how challenges makes the world. Yeah? How? The world was without form and void, and God saw it. That was difficulty. That was a challenge. And he decided to create beauty out of it. But a lot of people see challenges and they run away. Yeah. So 2 years ago, after starting my business on a small scale, I just had the nudging to just register the business. I registered it. Then somebody called me and said, pinned partner initiative in Nigeria. They wanted to do it. They want me to be part of their vendors. I said, okay. So this particular order that they gave me, See, I've not done that order in my life before. I think it was about 100 and something tote bag, 200 t-shirts, and some other things. Before that, I was just doing printing in small quantities. So, at first, when I saw the order, I said, can I do this thing? I said it to myself, but when I went there to the music, I said, I can do it. I told them I can do it. On the day of doing it, I almost fainted. But guess what? I did it. Even though it almost took my life. Because it made me travel to, because I was supposed to deliver in Port Harcourt. I traveled 12 a.m. from Warri to Port Harcourt. I arrived Port Harcourt 2 a.m. just to deliver that thing. I made sure I deliver on time. But guess what? I look over the years how I've grown. I don't think there's any order that is bigger than me. Even though I have not done it before, once I look at it, I tell you that I can do this thing. And once I say I can do it, I can do it. And that's my second point, which is faith. Yeah, the Bible says faith cometh by hearing, and hearing by the word of God. So environment matters with what you believe. So I grew up in the north, yeah, and I think that shaped my own thinking in a sense, because I have a bias, and that bias is true if you ask me, is that the Christians in the north, yeah, if you're a Christian, you're a Christian. There's no Christian and mediocre. You're either a Christian or you're a Muslim, because if you have experienced Sharia before, like they'll kill you if you don't recite the Quran. And even the Christians are killing the Muslims if you don't recite the Bible. So you either choose a side or you are nowhere. So my faith's being built up from where I grew up. Coming down here, I see that everybody, Christianity is just something you write on your religion on one paper. They just ask you, you just write Christianity. So it's just something that you just feel like belonging to. So it's not like you really practice it. Yeah. But for me, it was different. The problem, my father needs to buy drugs. Landlord just send me money. See, you can be on the bed, and that's all that fuels your thought. But what if you switch it and don't pay attention to that thing? We are thinking about something else that you can achieve, something that you can do. I think it just changed the whole thing. It changes the whole thing, and that's the game changer for everybody. So faith strengthens your belief. And lastly, when I talk about, I'm have many lastly. When I talk about where you grew up can hinder your faith, is scripture says somewhere in Luke that his words are stuck against us because of our traditions and our beliefs. And that's what happens. So check your heart. Check your heart, because what you believe can affect if you can believe this thing or not. So my children go to Top Quest, and we had a conversation this morning after I dropped them with some parents, and they were telling us how there's a school that they feel like they teach better, but another parents say, but the ambience is not good. I said, guess what? I've come to know that I've walked into a room, and I know some of you have done the same thing. You are more qualified, but you walk into the room and the ambience of the place and everything, and you're like, wow. But a rich man child that is not as qualified as you, and this is not about connection, he enters that place, he's more confident than you. Why? This is not new to him. The ambience. So I say, I'd rather expose my children to that kind of ambience. Because guess what? Your world, you feel like you're the only one that exists in this world until you experience another person's world. So in that classroom where they have ACs and everything, my child's mind, this is how a classroom is supposed to be. But another person that grows up in a different environment, yes, he may have a better qualification, but when they walk into a room and where it matters, they're not as confident as this other person. And that's how it works. So build up your faith, because it's your own responsibility. It's your responsibility to expose your own mind. And the way you build up your faith is simple. Study the Bible. Because the Bible says faith comes by hearing, and hearing by the word. Thank you.
Thank you very much. We are a bit pressed for time, so I know we have a lot of things to share. Let's find a way to condense our wisdom so that we'll be able to have time for... No, because the last leave I don't hear, that reached like 7. But that's on a lighter note. All right.